You're okay, you can chat away, it's
We're
fine.
going
Okay, hello everybody. I know we have not been on Periscope and social media today. We've had no connection driving across Australia, but here we are at our very last venue. So, all's good, and we have someone here. Now you're a peep.
Yes, I'm a peep.
It's a peep, everybody. Okay, tell us your name.
My peep name is Alison Curra.
And who's this?
This is Jen.
Hi. You say hello to the people.
Hi.
Hi, how old are you?
8.
You're 8 years
old.
old.
On the 19th of August I'm turning 9.
Oh, that's so big. Fantastic. It's lovely to meet you. So what other name are you going to give me? That's your Periscope name, is it?
Oh, my name's Alison, sorry.
Alison.
Sorry,
Okay.
I forgot what my name was.
How many children have you got, Alison?
Just one.
Just one, okay. So when you were pregnant with him, did you have any thoughts on vaccines? Were you anti-vaccine or anything like that?
I didn't think. I just did what the doctor told me. All that. It actually starts with me, the whole story.
Okay, let's hear about you.
Yeah.
And England's up. Hello, good morning, England. Nice of you to join us. Okay, off we go.
Yeah, when I was 12 months old, I had the DPT vaccine. About not long after, I developed symptoms of diarrhea, vomiting, screaming, headaches, this is my mum telling me, fever. She took me back to the doctor a number of times, the same doctor, and he just said she'll be fine, she'll be fine. This is in 1970. And sorry.
That's okay. Because you're trying to remember what your mum told you, aren't you?
Yeah, well, she thinks she believes the doctor, and the doctor said that I'd be fine, and she kept taking me back to him. And then eventually she took me to another doctor, and he said, "Why did you wait so long?" And they put me in hospital, and I was in there for 2 weeks, and I nearly died.
Oh. And you were just little.
Yeah, I was only 12 months old.
And so you obviously got better.
Yes, I did.
And as you did you have any more complications from?
Yes, I did. Well, I didn't really socialise.
Right.
I climbed things.
Yeah.
I guess you could say symptoms of autism. It's been a struggle, my life.
Yeah, I bet. Did you get any more vaccines
I
after
did when I was about 17.
Mm-hmm.
I had the tetanus injection.
Right.
Scratched by a cat. I ended up, after that, severe depression, couldn't get out of bed, chronic fatigue, all those sort of things. And then I sort of gradually came out of that one. And then eventually I moved to I moved to Turkey. I was there for 20 years. And I had the Hep B series in Turkey. I don't know if
Why did they tell you had to have that?
Because in Turkey they have lots of Hep B, and they just said it's better if you have it. I was working with children.
That's what they said. Okay,
Yeah.
that's extraordinary.
Yeah.
Load of BS. But yes,
So
anyway.
anyway, I had the series of 3, and I developed a swelling in my thyroid quite soon after, and it came up really quick, and in the end it turned up being thyroid cancer. So,
So what did you do for that?
I had all my thyroid out and radioactive iodine, and I didn't vaccinate again after that.
So you go and have this beautiful boy here. Now, did you give him any vaccine?
Yes, I did. I don't know. I got pregnant in Turkey, and I came here, and I don't know why. I don't understand myself, but
Okay, we all do it.
why I did this.
So what's he had?
At birth, he had the Hep B vitamin K. He developed jaundice, and he also had blood in his urine. And the nurse said that was normal.
Normal to have blood in your urine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And after that, I sort of was a bit hesitant, so I kept delaying the DTaP.
The 2-month ones.
Yeah, I kept stretching them out.
And why did you go back? Did they call you in? Or did
My
you just
sister said I should be having them, so me being the personality that I am, I
did as you were told?
I'm that sort of person. I do what I'm told. So I gave him those, and then at 7 months, He's talking. He had the BCG
At 7 months old.
because we were going to Turkey and they said you've got to have the tuberculosis.
Because there's lots of TB out
Yeah,
there, the
yeah.
usual stuff, yeah.
So he had that, and that
Nonsense.
was terrible reaction, screaming. He wasn't really developing well anyway. I just didn't know what was wrong. They just said, oh, he's a bit slow, he's developing late, all that sort of thing. Am I speaking loud enough?
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
I'm not reading what they're saying right
Because I'm
now.
always
but-
seeing you
Oh
saying.
yeah, I think everybody, can you hear what she's saying? I think they would tell us if they couldn't.
Okay.
Nope, I don't see anybody complaining. So,
Okay.
yes, they say they can hear you and you're
I
wonderful.
watch so many of these.
You do, and this little boy here taps away and does lots of hearts for us, don't you? Yeah, thank you for that. That's very kind of you. There's lots of hearts coming up now for you.
Yeah.
So
He had the BCG, had a huge reaction, he had a big lump on his arm, he screamed. He just got a lot worse after that, regressed more. In the end he had more vaccines, but I just spaced them out, still doing what I was told. And in the end we went to I found a biomedical doctor here and he said, do not have any more vaccines. And
Here in Adelaide, a medical doctor, that's good, whoever that is.
he's a great doctor.
Do not give his name out,
No,
poor
I'm
guy.
not. And I stopped before the MMR.
Good. And how is he?
Well, he was diagnosed with autism at 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
I've done a lot of biomedical treatment and he's pretty good.
Yeah,
as you
he's
can
very
see.
good. Very good. Looks good as well.
I just want to say one thing.
Please say.
Thank you to Dr. Andrew Cutler.
I know.
It's been a tough week this week.
Yeah. I know.
You know, Dr.
Yes,
Andrew.
I know exactly who he is. It's a very shame for us. Big loss for the
Yeah,
community.
that's how he got the
Wow.
6
Well, that's
years.
a good tribute to him,
6
isn't
years.
it?
And I wanted to do it before he died, but I didn't get to do it anyway.
No, but he can see me now. Now he can see exactly
Yeah.
the good work he's done.
Mm.
What's your favourite subject at school?
Maths.
You like math.
Yeah.
You must be really clever if you like math.
Yeah, I am.
Good. Well, you're the kind of person that I would ask for help at school because I was so bad at math.
I'm especially good at clocks.
Clock and telling the time and clocks. Good for you. I'm glad they still do clocks in school. It's very important.
Mm, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Good. And do you have a friend, best friend?
Yeah, his name is Dion.
Dion. Ah, and what's Dion's favourite thing to do? What does he like?
Well, he likes learning about history.
He likes history. I like
Yeah, and he likes to learn about other countries, and then he learns lots of words from other countries.
Huh, so he's very clever too.
Yeah.
Lots of clever people. Sounds like a good school that you go to.
His favourite country is Egypt.
He likes, I've been to Egypt. Red
Have you?
Sea.
I never went there.
One of my best holidays, family holidays, the Red Sea.
I live
Very
so
nice.
close, but I never got there.
Yes, it's good. Okay, well good. It's lovely to speak to you. I'm glad you're doing so well at school.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing really well. You're all going to be okay.
Yeah, we are okay, and I thank you so much for everything that you've done.
No, well, thank you for being such a great peep, both of you, and pushing the hearts all the time.
And we managed to do this screening. It's been really hard.
But you pulled it off. You've got a great team. Looks like mainly women. Might be
Yes,
fair.
it's all women.
And
Oh,
he's
we've got
just
10
coming
minutes.
around, people. He's coming around to have a look at the hearts. Yeah, see those hearts there? Yeah, they're for you, and they're for you as well. Yeah, and you normally do those hearts. Let me just turn them around so they can see your face. Look, there he is, looking at your heart. Look at, we are Vaxxed, and look at those coming in from
So that's,
Periscope.
which one's Periscope?
This is Periscope, so there's lots coming in here on Periscope. There's lots coming in on We
Vaxxed,
Are
and that's
Vaxxed.
Autism Mothers.
How much do you think you're
Oh,
loved?
YouTube.
A lot.
You are loved a lot from all over the world. I think it's mainly England and America sending you hearts. And thank you for doing the hearts when other people need love.
Yeah. I've helped my mum do the hearts.
Well, we really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Now it's your turn, Sue.
Yeah.
How old are you? Did they want to know how old you are?
8.
You're 8 years old. You're 9 in August.
Yeah, 19th. So this month.
Fantastic. Well, there you go. I'm sure you can watch us back and see all your hearts.
Yeah.
All right, okay, we're going to turn it back around. Let me just turn these around. Hello. Come sit over here. Everybody, all of you, come over here. Let's have a little chat.
Okay. 5 minutes.
Oh, we've got 5 minutes. That's all we got.
Jen, yeah.
Is there anything you want? You're Scary Jen. See, that is why we have Scary Jen, because she shouts 5 minutes and so good. Hello, how are you?
I'm done.
Right, so you're going to have to tell everybody who you are. We're going to go around the table.
Hi, I'm Laurel. Who am I looking at?
Both of Mrs. Periscope and Mrs. We Are Vaxxed. Are you a Periscope or We Are Vaxxed person?
Usually Periscope.
It's a P.
Asta 201, I believe it is. Or
Asta.
Paddy, am I
You're
Paddy,
Paddy, you're Paddy.
Paddy 201. There you go.
Paddy 201. Oh,
Yeah.
and everyone's so excited to see you, so happy to see you. Okay, let's move around the table. How are you at the back?
Hello, I'm Anne-Marie, and this is Charlotte.
And are you on Periscope or We Are Vaxxed?
We are Vaxxed.
Oh, We Are Vaxxed. Oh, it's lovely to see you. Hello, Charlotte. And
I'm Stella,
And-
and I'm a We Are Vaxxed person.
Stella's a We Are Vaxxed person. We Are Vaxxed, very happy to see you. They're all going, hello, peeps. All that stuff.
Oh, hi.
Hi, who are you?
I'm Tanya.
And Tanya, who and what? Tell us who you are. Tell them who you are.
Well, I'm with We Are Vaxxed as well, but I am an RDI consultant for people with autism.
And
And I worked with Billy when
That's right.
he was...
so Billy, yeah, it's really true. Tanya
A
was
plumber.
Tanya actually is responsible for teaching Billy to sit in a chair, number one, which took a long.
We love you, Tanya.
But I think it's really important people know how bad Billy was.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he didn't speak. He just went ah,
No,
ah.
no,
He didn't
he
do
didn't.
anything. He just
No.
was. He didn't respond to his name or anything.
Oh.
You've changed, by the
19
way.
years ago.
It's 19 years ago. This lady came into Tommy's life and changed. Well, got us to have some response from Billy. It was
Yes, yeah,
good.
no, he did respond.
We had a good team. Yeah, he did respond in the end.
Started a kid living in a
Yeah, yeah. See.
very long time ago. Hi, Billy.
Hi, but he's not. He's asleep now. But when
Oh,
he's
okay.
up, he's still into the same videos he was into then.
I have actually been looking for some Brum videos for him.
Oh.
The helicopter one.
Well, I know John will also be so happy to see you. And have you seen the film?
Yes, yeah, definitely.
And so
Last
you,
time
because some of it goes back to when Billy was
Yes.
around.
Yeah, no, I remember.
But so yeah, Tanya came in, and you guys are. Did you live here, Tanya? Now.
Yeah, I'm from Adelaide, so I'm back home.
All right, so she's handy to know.
Did you come to our screening in February?
Yes, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she was first on the scene as on the behaviour side with Billy.
How about that?
He
Full
was
circle.
baby.
But little, yeah, and we had you in, and then we came to the diet. So he wasn't, I don't think, on the gluten-free diet when you came
Oh,
in.
he was just
Just about to go-
started,
we were
but
just
yeah,
about to go
just
on to
about
it,
to
yeah.
go on to it.
Ah, see, emergency department. But no, it's in, but people
And just
some
before the magazine as well.
just before the magazine as well. People do say 2 minutes. Scary Jen says 2 minutes. People do say though that they write to me and they say, oh well, Billy never had autism in the first place. You are. He was screaming and screaming, banging his head, arching his back.
Yeah.
See?
Grab the moment.
Yes, definitely.
I wonder if Billy saw you now, he'd think you'd take him in for therapy, he'd probably freak out.
I would hope not.
Oh, we're going down to Q&A. You're going to come in with us?
Yeah, I can come in. Yeah.
And I'm glad you meet all these lovely people.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so what does an eye-to-eye therapist mean?
RDI,
Oh,
relationship.
I know what RDI means. I thought you said eye-to-eye.
A relationship with
Things have changed.
Yeah.
Because it was ABA.
I
then,
did do
wasn't it?
APA for a very long time, and then had,
You changed to RDA. Lots of people tell me it's really good.
Oh, it's
They
awesome.
talk really, I
It's
don't
actually
know.
because of the child that I've worked with in the UK. That
But
I
you
got
do
into
switch
it.
to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, definitely. Best thing I ever did.
I can't believe, here we are in Australia meeting Billy's therapist, first therapist. She's got to give you a hug.
Adelaide's like that though. Like you'll
Yeah,
always come
Adelaide is
across
very much
somebody
like
that you
that.
know. Yeah.
Oh, stop it.
I have no childcare when I saw you before.
Well, yeah, I do.
Crazy stuff.
We're going to keep running, right?
Tanya, my brother
Hello.
Billy's therapist from the
Hi, how you going?
first on the scene to Billy Tommy.
All right.
Thank you so much.
So,
Are we taking this all downstairs?
well, no. Let's just
Press finish.
let's just pull it out.
Oh,
And then
that's really sweet. Thank you so
Carmen?
much.
is not here.
Where should I put this?
I know.
Can I just give it to her now?
Thank you.
No, I'll take that for Kent.
Is it on?
Oh.
No, it's not off. We're going to take them down because we've got Q&A now.
Open this later.
It's so exciting.
I can't, I tell you what, I don't have enough hands. Would you be able to help me? Would you take Periscope? I never give Periscope to anybody. You take We Are Vaxxed.
Everybody, this is all for the vaccine.
Oh my goodness. For the vaccine.
You're fine. Polly?
Yeah. Let's just hope something gets done about it.
You know, it's
Like now.
just, okay, come on.
Go, guys.
Let's go.
All right. I can get
You're
that.
right.
Thank you. Everybody just watched you fix your hair, Jen.
They also watched us eat dinner, so.
They did.
Is it, can we go in?
Leave it shut, leave it shut.
Oh, no, just leave it shut. I don't know where the other camera is. Hi, hello. This is Anita. Hello. These wonderful people we just interviewed. With a wonderful son. Oh, look at all these wonderful people. We're waiting outside for the movie to finish to start the Q&A. So let's go on a little tour. Come with me. This is ballroom function. I think we're gonna be in there, except it's not gonna look like that. We miss you, Melbourne. Melbourne was awesome. And look at all this fun stuff that's over here. So that's the sign-up sheet where everybody comes in and checks in. Looks like Devo's little brother was here. And then we've got a petition. Let's see, what is this petition about? Look at this, guys. Organized. Bringing the petition to the people. Look at all these. Very nice. And this is the lovely lady that's holding... Wait, what are you holding? Is that We Are Vaxxed?
I'm not sure actually.
I think that is We Are Vaxxed. We're just waiting to go inside, guys. So just bear with us. Hi, Sharon. Explain the petition. Oh, wait. No, the movie's ending. Here we go. Here we go. Just come with.
Is that Periscope?
That's We Are Vaxxed. Do you want Periscope? Yes. And I'll get this. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody say thank you to this lady.
I'm just going to leave my bag. It's okay, Australia doesn't need the vaccine anymore, they have their own vaccine. Here we come.
It's Anita again. Okay. Here's Polly. I don't know who they're clapping for.
You want the Periscope? You're going to go right up the front of
Off we go. So apparently we're not supposed to shoot. We cannot show the audience tonight, okay?
We got some doctors and a politician.
So we're just going to be careful. We're only going to point it towards the people. Okay. Look at this, guys. Can you see that? Coming up in the world. Okay. So guys, this is going to be the view for the rest of the night because we cannot show the audience, okay?
It is packed.
You can imagine what they're going to look like. They are humans. Just setting up the chairs really quick. Look, guys, it's Periscope.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Meryl Dory, and I'm pulling this microphone in. Thank you. And I'm with the Australian Vaccination Network, who has been very proud and happy to be able to spend the last 2 weeks bringing this amazing film from the Sunshine Coast down to Adelaide with a team from Vaxxed USA. So I am just so gratified and so amazed at the reception that we've gotten everywhere. Sold out houses. We've spoken with thousands and thousands of people over this time period. And one thing that we've had as a fairly constant was a strong and committed group of local volunteers. So I want everyone to put their hands together, please, for the South Australian volunteers. Thank you. And for Captain Scarborough and Viva, your own Viva. We actually did have a different venue. It was a cinema. And unfortunately, even though the cinema was independent, the council, which has contracts with the cinema, put pressure on them. They said that if they continue to fulfill their plan and contract to show Vaxxed, they would lose all of their council contracts. They put them into a really difficult position, and they had no option but to cancel very apologetically. They were very upset about it because they really wanted to support this cause. So I thank the ballroom for allowing us to have I just want to reiterate the fact that there are forces within the government, within the media, and within the medical community that do not want you to have this information. And therefore, it is up to each and every one of you to make sure that you get this information out to as many people as you possibly can, to make sure that you become the messenger for this information that is so vital to so many families in Australia. Can I ask a show of hands? How many of you saw Vaxxed tonight for the very first time? A lot of you. That's fabulous. That's absolutely fabulous. And one other quick question. If you know someone who has been injured by vaccines, whether it's in your family or in your circle of friends, would you mind standing up, please? Look around. Look around. We are told that vaccine injury occurs 1 in a million. Actually, earlier this week we were told on the radio that vaccine injury is 1 in a trillion. I mean, 1 in a trillion, so there's only 6 or 7 people in the entire world injured by vaccines. Yeah, right. Pull the other one. We need to be the voice for all these people who've been injured for vaccines, and that's one of the roles the AVN takes very, very personally, because so many of our members, including myself, have children who've been injured by vaccines. And it is not 1 in a million, and it is not even rare. It is far too common. Now, before we go on a downer, I want to tell you that it has been my absolute pleasure these last 2 weeks to be spending time with the team from Vaxxed. And I would like to ask you to be upstanding and to welcome Holly Tommy from the Vaxxed in the United States. And Dr. Suzanne Humphrey.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. We're going to be asking for questions from the audience. If you can please line up here and see Jen. Jen, raise your hand. That's it. Please keep the questions short, no statements, because we really want to get through as many questions as we can. 30 to 60 seconds for the question, and we'll see if we can answer all of them tonight, okay? Thanks.
Hello, thank you so much for being here. I just have a question about pregnant women having flu vax and whooping cough vaccination and the impact on the fetus.
Can you say what the question is exactly about them getting those vaccines?
The impact of the mother being vaccinated on the fetus.
Okay. So there are several issues with vaccinating pregnant women. One has to do with the mother, in my opinion, and the other has to do with the growing fetus. First off, there's a lot of information showing that immune-compromised people, whether you're in Africa or whether you're just a sick person in, say, Scandinavia, after those killed aluminium-containing vaccines are very detrimental in that it might stop you from getting diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis for a short period of time, but it increases your risk of other respiratory and ear infections. And you just have a prominent case of that, in my opinion, in your news today. The other thing has to do with the fetus, and that's regarding maternal immune activation. So anything that causes inflammation in a mother that's pregnant has the potential to lead to some sort of abnormality in the growth of the brain in the baby. And that doesn't always show up right away. It can take several years for that to manifest as either depression, schizophrenia, or autism. So the pro-vaccine people try to use logic, although it's completely illogical to anyone with half a brain, that they want to give vaccines for rubella, vaccines for flu, and vaccines for pertussis, slightly different reasons. But the flu vaccine is given to prevent the mother from getting the flu while she's pregnant, which is ridiculous because about 2 in 1,000, I think, something like that, mothers get the flu when they're pregnant. An even smaller percentage of those have a potential to lead to problems in the baby's brain. So does it make sense to take that chance, knowing all we do know to dampen inflammation, versus intentionally causing inflammation in a mother every pregnancy with flu shots and tetanus, diphtheria, pertussis vaccines? No, it doesn't. And the other thing, when I was talking about immune compromise, if you don't know this already, pregnancy is a state of immune compromise. And the mother's immune system is actually dampened down so that she can tolerate the pregnancy so she doesn't reject it. So thereby, giving vaccines to an immune compromised person, like a pregnant mother, is actually problematic. And it didn't used to be done in the old days. That was considered kind of a safety time where you didn't do any injections, you tried to keep drugs away, but everything's changed today. Anything with a heartbeat today pretty much can get a vaccine.
Mm. There's a lot of junk in vaccines, and I've done a bit of reading about it. So there's certain parts of those vaccines that can insert themselves in DNA. Is that correct? And so you get changes in DNA from vaccines. Can you expand?
So, the person that I know that's spoken about this the most is Dr. Teresa Deisher. So I recommend that you go to Vaxxed TV and watch the interview that was done with her, because she talked about the DNA fragments, actually, that can intersperse with someone's own DNA, genetic material. So it's not actually like whole genes that come in, but it's just fragments of that. And yes, it can affect one's own genome.
What's her name again?
Her name? Teresa Deisher, D-E-I-S-H-E-R. She's the lady that talks about the fetal cells that are used in vaccine manufacture. And one of the major problems is that there are retroviruses that come along with those fetal cells, human retroviruses. And so that along with aluminium, and she talks about the mechanism of how that can be problematic in, you know, whether you're a young person or an old person's DNA.
Well, that sort of leads to my question. Sorry. I'm curious as to if there's any research on HeLa, and because do you know HeLa?
HeLa, the Henrietta Lacks cells?
Yes.
Yeah.
And from the 1955, and if there's been any research or connections with the African American race thing that Andrew.
Okay, my understanding, there's actually a fabulous book written about the Henrietta Lacks. She had cervical cancer. I don't remember what decade, it wasn't any time recent. And they basically took some of those cervical cancer tumor cells and immortalized them so that they're now used. It's mostly in vaccine research. I'm not aware of any vaccines that are actually propagated on those cells. It's strictly used for research.
My question is not really a question, it's more of a guidance question in relation to legislation that is being proposed for South Australia in relation to vaccination of children, all children under the age of 6, for the purposes of any sort of childcare that is a fee-for-service provision. So my question to you, given that feedback is still open until the 11th of August on that, can you provide any guidance on where we can find research, medical research that supports that vaccination is detrimental, so that we can provide that feedback to the South Australian Government?
I just want to hear the question, if we could find research about
the adverse effects of vaccines in children, as was shown in
Okay, no problem. The adverse, it's interesting because your Minister for Health opened an inquiry into the introduction of no gem, no play in South Australia and said, we're really interested in finding out what people think about this. Unless, of course, you're opposed to vaccination, then we don't really care. And we're not going to listen to you, and we're not going to take anything you say seriously. And that is not the role of a government. Now, if you want to find adverse reaction information, you get a copy of the manufacturer's package insert. You get the prescriber copy, not the one that's for consumers. And you can get these online. And that will list 3 things that are very important. Number 1 is the list of ingredients in vaccinations. And what you can do is when you've got that list of ingredients, go online and get the material safety data sheets, MSDS, for those ingredients. And that will tell you all the side effects that are associated with those individual ingredients. And if the side effects are associated with the ingredients, they're associated with the vaccine. But aside from that, in the package insert, they also have a list of known side effects to that vaccine. And these are things that were found in testing the vaccine. So the manufacturer says the vaccine can cause these things. The government ignores them. The third thing that you need to look at in these package insert is the list of contraindications. And these are reasons why vaccines may not be appropriate for everyone. Now, right now, the federal government for no jab, no pay says the only contraindication that they will listen to is anaphylaxis following a previous dose of a vaccine. And they are in direct contravention to what the manufacturers themselves have said. So I was speaking with someone earlier in the lobby, and I think one thing that would be really useful is for you to get groups, delegations, and go to see your state members of parliament and tell them about the High Court case of Rogers versus Whitaker. Because this High Court case says that doctors are required by law to inform of any risks of a material nature, even if the risk is rare, or of any risks at all if the risk is common. So not informing parents about these risks actually puts doctors in breach of the law. And I think that your parliamentarians need to be informed of this. And if you as a parent go to a doctor to speak with them about vaccination, and they do not fully inform you of every known side effect, contraindication, and ingredient listed in the package insert, they are in breach of the law, and a complaint should be filed against them.
And just on that note, just to say, guys, you need to thank, we've got an MP here in the front row. I don't know which one of you it is it you? Thank you for being here, guys. Every time they turn up, you have to thank them. Thank you so much.
I'd like to say a few words about the adverse effects, because there's another issue that's actually more common than the, quote, adverse events. And that is what I and the medical literature refers to as non-specific effects that happen to everybody who gets vaccinated with acellular pertussis vaccines, which are the vaccines that are used here today, as well as influenza vaccines. And yesterday I gave a talk, it was yesterday, wasn't it? 2 days ago, I gave a talk and we broadcast it out on 4 stations and they were all interfered with. And we uploaded it onto Vaxxed TV and that was also destroyed. So last night we re-recorded that. I've given a copy of it to Meryl and to Jen, and we re-recorded it last night. We're going to put a copy up that can't be tampered with. And I'm requesting that everybody who is vaccine critical in this country sits down with pen and paper and takes a couple of hours to write down and understand what I said. It's very simple. Believe me, people, this is not rocket science. Because what we have in the medical literature is proof positive from medical literature from 10 years ago, from this year, and from last year, showing in no uncertain terms that that acellular vaccine that's being given to children and adults in this country programs the immune system in such a way that impairs that immune system from responding appropriately with each subsequent dose, and keeps you, the person who gets the vaccine, perhaps from coughing for a short bit of time, but makes you more likely to shed virus than somebody who's experienced the disease and recovered normally. Meaning that the vaccinated people are the ones that are spreading pertussis vaccine in this country. They're the ones that are creating mutant strains of the bacteria in this country, and that for 20 years we've used a vaccine that has screwed up the immune system of people in this country to that can't be fixed. Okay? So people need to get those PMID numbers, understand it, and speak out. Now, a doctor showed up 2 nights ago, last night, my days are all mixed together, but this Dr. Cunningham, an orthopedic surgeon, showed up with some information he wanted to share with you all because he thinks you're idiots and you don't understand that Andrew Wakefield had his medical license removed and lots of other information. Sorry. So this guy shows up, and then he goes on saying that he was spat at, and he was pushed, and he was abused by you people, and he's calling me Ms. and not doctor, so disrespectful, and he's basically he's trying to keep the real news out of the press. And what I'm requesting of all of you, because people are calling me and saying, please respond to this, doctor. But guess what? I can't do this. I've sat and gotten this information and put it together in a comprehensive way for you. And my request of all of you is to sit down with that information and you respond to him. Because you can do it. If all of you learn to do it, it's far more powerful than me taking all these talking head doctors on. Thanks. Polly asked that I tell you my qualifications because Dr. Is this Cunningham? Is that his name? Cunningham calls me Ms. So I'm a medical doctor with 2 current medical licenses in the United States. I'm an internal medicine specialist and a nephrology kidney specialist. I've passed my medical board exams twice each in the past 20 years. Last year, I did better than 75% of other doctors in the United States. So I'd say that I'm far more qualified than Dr. Cunningham, who probably doesn't give any vaccines, and he's so blind that he doesn't realize that vaccines given in the hospital to his own patients are making his job actually harder. I've spent the last 8 years of my life doing nothing but studying vaccines. I have studied vaccines longer than I have studied any other subject, including kidneys, in my lifetime.
got daughter-in-laws that are probably going to vaccinate, unfortunately. Is there any protection? Is there anything that you could do to minimise?
Who's getting vaccinated?
My grandchildren, some of my daughter-in-laws are probably inevitably going to vaccinate my grandchildren. Is there any, I mean obviously not giving them, delaying them and giving them singly is, you know, a way forward. But for people around me and other people that are going to get vaccinated, is there anything that you could do to minimise the risk?
The answer is no. I mean, you cannot unvax. Once you've vaxxed, you're done. You can make it better, but you're done. And you say you want to minimise it, or your daughter-in-law does. Remember, Billy only had the MMR that day. You can't split them up. That is as minimal as you can get if you're going in for that vaccine. And his life is crap. He's 21 years old. He will be looked after for the rest of his life. He has never lived the life he should have done since he was 13 months old. What you're saying, I'll tell you why it's important. To all of you who have children this big, it is never too early to teach them to be careful who they get with, who they marry. Seriously. We travel around and all we hear is how wonderful and in love these people were, and they were completely fine on vaccines, and they fall out or something happens or a doctor scares them, and there's massive war where they team up against each other, the child loses and the child is, there's a court there, and the child is vaccinated because of the parents' fight. This is very, very, very common. So I'm sorry, that's the situation. I would give them a copy of Vaxxed, a copy of Suzanne's book, show them, completely keep sending them all the stories that we've done of every single vaccine, and then pray like crazy. I don't know what else you can do.
Thank you.
Polly, this one's for you. It's probably a little bit more personal than it is technical, but I have a 6-year-old who regressed to autism after his vaccines. How do you deal with the guilt? Because I cry myself to sleep nearly every single night when I look at him. He's doing fabulously at school, he's 6, and then some days it's just so blindingly obvious that he's just not like the other kids. Does it get better? How do you do it?
So it's a great question, and it's the same. So, okay, how do we deal with the guilt? I don't think, and people tell us the whole time, you mustn't feel guilty, because if you feel guilty, then you're ruining your life. We all feel guilt deep down. There's nothing you can push it away, but it's there. Of course it's there. We're mummies. The thing we wanted to do more than anything else was be the best mummies for our children, protect them, and we listen to the doctors. But here's the thing that I say to myself the whole time. I did not go out to damage my son. I went out and I trusted my doctor with everything I had, just like you did. So we were lied to. It is not our fault. Yes, there are other parents out here that chose not to and did their research, and we didn't. But what I do is this, I throw myself into making it better in any way I can for my son, so that mandatory vaccines don't come in and come and get him again, that my other children and their grandchildren are going to be safe, and the unborn of the future. But we have to just put our love back into our child and just say, you know, we did not do it on purpose, and we're good people, and there's a huge amount of people that love you, and they'll just wrap their arms around you and push you on. But yes, it's post-traumatic stress disorder, and it will never leave us.
Must compliment you and the team and the entire effort you put in. Okay. I must compliment you in the sincerity and your courage and all of that, but philosophically, with the opposition that the world is facing in politics and pharmaceuticals and all these vested interests, is there any real hope for us?
You know, I don't think this microphone's working. We can't hear anything. I think they should just come and tell us the question. Turn the speaker around
Yeah, just turn one of them around, that'll be great.
Essentially, you guys are doing a great job, so there's a massive thing you're fighting. Is there any hope?
Yes, all of those people that is against the common person like
No, keep that one straight. Keep that one straight. Yeah.
Okay, yes, there's big hope. So the question is there any hope? I know we have a member of Parliament here, and thank you so much for being here, but on the whole, politicians and I don't get on very well, because I banged on the doors for so long, and I've had my photograph taken with so many, and nothing ever gets done. And I don't think anything will particularly get done by them as a whole. I think it's going to be the parents and the people that are going to win this. In fact, I know it is, because at some point, I don't know what it's going to take for the people to say enough is enough. And that will happen because there's only so many injured children that can live on this planet. As it is, the schools, the whole society is pushed to the limit with children with special needs, behavioural problems, all injured, by the way, bar a few, by vaccine. Some parents don't want to deal with it, some can't face up to the fact, some know deep down inside. So I do think there is massive hope. And I'll tell you this, Suzanne is right. We've been bombarded by foul, lying press here in Australia. I thought Britain was bad, then I thought America was bad. Australia, you win for the worst press in the world. But that said, people are not stupid. They're not stupid. And the more they say that vaccines are safe and effective, and the more they bring up the polio line and the Andrew Wakefield's a fraud line. Fraud by who? It's not a fraud by any of us. He's a fraud by 5 or 6 people in the General Medical Council in the UK. So the more they write these lies, the more the people are going to rise up against it. So yes, there's massive hope. And they're saying today that they've looked into our immigration. How on earth did the Vaxxed team get into Australia? Well, we came in on business visas, actually, beautifully sorted out by AVN. Everything was above board and open. And if we're not allowed back into this amazing country, that's fine. You know why? Because Australia, you don't need us. We've travelled around, and you guys are strong. You've formed a massive group. The Vaxxed team in Australia coming over to the USA to train up on the bus, and you're going to have your own bus, your own team, and America and England are going to stand right by your side.
For over 15 years, the government and the media and the medical community were content to ignore the AVN. It was only when we started to convince the parents of Australia that there were valid questions that needed answering about vaccinations, and that was around 2009, that all of this started. And I take it as a sign that we are on the right track, because when they try and shut you down, that means that you are winning. And we are winning. More than 40% of Australians think that vaccinations cause autism. And 25% of pediatricians in this country who were surveyed said that they did not feel confident in their knowledge of vaccination to advise parents. We are winning. It's always darkest before the dawn, and that sun is going to be coming up as long as all of us keep our courage and keep talking about this issue, being vocal and taking steps to make sure that we share our information.
You know, this is a classic case of the elephant being afraid of the mouse, because the elephant doesn't know its size and its power. The fact is that the pharmaceutical industry can't live without you. It can't live without you taking its vaccines and taking its prescription drugs. And CEOs of pharmaceutical companies want every last person in the world on at least 2 drugs. You know, in England, in the 1800s, when the English people had had enough of the smallpox vaccine, they were getting their furniture confiscated, they were being fined, they were being tossed into jail. And a small country like England, without social media, which is a huge, powerful tool today, managed to get 80,000 people together for a protest in the town of Leicester. They clogged up the system. There were so many people on the record to be arrested that they couldn't even arrest them all. You have the same capacity to do that today. Reject their drugs when you really don't need them. Go elsewhere for your first line of defense. Go to naturopaths, go to chiropractors, I don't care, stay home. But if you don't absolutely need a doctor because you're septic, or you're spurting from an artery, or you have an organ failure, the common cold, and all the other kinds of lightweight infectious diseases could be dealt with without them. Starve them out. And don't be afraid of them, because you are so much bigger they can't keep up with you if your numbers get big enough.
Hear, hear.
Are you able to hear now? That's my first question. It's probably this. Look, I'm really going to comment and just give you all ABN and the Vaxxed team just the biggest thanks. As Meryl knows, I've been doing this alongside her for the last 20 years as well, and this is just such a great tool to spread the word. And I had to grab the mic because we do have a petition circulating, and I just want to make sure that everybody here who's able to can sign this petition against No Jab, No Play. There are 3 clipboards going around. Sorry. And just, there was a question earlier about, to Suzanne about, information. And the little booklet, which has been going around for a number of years, we have copies of this up the back. It's got all of the vaccine ingredients listed, the adverse reactions, and a whole pile of referenced information. So I just want to encourage you to come and take a copy of that. We're covering print costs at $2. So, and I'll be up with that. Just a big thanks. You really are opening conversations in places where they haven't been happening, because so many people have been afraid to speak up because of the media vilification, and I just thoroughly applaud the tour and all of your efforts.
I know you said that once you vaccinate, you can't unvaccinate. However, where would someone start to heal? How would you start to heal your child if you have already vaccinated them or partially vaccinated them? Where's the best place to start in their healing from that?
Well, I'll tell you the best place not to start. You don't start with a system or a doctor that tells you the vaccine has nothing to do with the injury. Because if you don't understand the pathophysiology, how that person got sick, they'll have a very difficult time getting your child well. So if they're going to deny that aluminium causes problems, or that there's mercury in trace amounts in the vaccines, or that inflammation is associated, brain inflammation with autism, forget it. They're totally useless to you, and they're just going to make things worse. And we see this happen all the time until parents get sick of it, and then they go to the quacks who heal them. So I say, find yourself a good quack, talk to people out there. If anybody has had quacks help heal their children, talk to this lady here afterwards, because we can't give information on treating vaccine injury.
Hello, I wrote my question down just in case I got stage fright. But very quickly, I just really wanted to thank all of you for your courage, your commitment, for standing on your convictions, to raise awareness and spread the truth, especially in the face of fierce opposition in this country, disrespect and misrepresentation. So thank you so much for fighting with us and for us. We know that you have our back and we have yours. So thank you very, very much. My very quick question is, if my children were knowingly exposed to any of the infectious diseases currently on our schedule, what would you recommend that I have, my family have, in our go-to treatment box at home to boost their immune system, to lessen the chance of infection and symptoms?
Okay, well, the first thing to remember is that the vast majority of people who are infected with the so-called vaccine-targeted diseases survive and have no residual effects. Okay, so that tells you that if the immune system is functioning properly, it will do the job. And while the vaccine enthusiasts are obsessed with antibodies, the key to fighting off any disease, vaccine or, virus or bacteria, is having healthy T cells, healthy cell-mediated immunity. And the key to that is good nutrition, adequate amounts of vitamin C, normal vitamin D levels, good sleep, lack of stress. That's the key. So at the very minimum, please go watch my vitamin C talk that I did in Sweden, I think it was 2015, where I go through how to use vitamin C and why you should understand, what the different uses of it are, because it's not just about immunity, it's about tissue building, it's about strength of the lungs when you have a cough, it's about preventing brain bleeds, because everything inside blood vessels, the mortar that holds those cells together is dependent upon vitamin C. Please just learn how to use vitamin C and understand what good nutrition is, because that's really key. If you have an infant, it's breast milk all the way, and it's you as a mom having a good, healthy microbiome and a good diet yourself. That's the key to having good cell-mediated immunity and to be able to fight off disease.
I just want to add to that all I remember when I have had measles, mumps, rubella, shingles, even though I know I shouldn't have done, but I did. But every time, and there's 4 of us children growing up, any time any of us were ill, this was the deal. You go to bed and you drink liquids. That's all we were ever told. Liquids, liquids, liquids. And you were allowed special fizzy drinks that you were never ever allowed. It was just get as much liquid as you can down in your system. And that was it. We didn't go and see a doctor. None of that happened. It was just that. So I'm just telling you, going back to the old days, which is when I'm from, that's how we got better.
First of all, just thank you very much for the information that you have given us. If anyone hasn't been on your YouTube channel, Dr. Humphries, everyone should just go and inform yourself because it's so informative and incredible. So thank you very much for that. Awesome stuff. I just want a 2-part question. The Andy Wakefield study that was originally done and was refuted and he was obviously got in trouble for, where is that at now? Because I hear information that it's been researched again independently a few times, it's been published again many times. Is that true?
No, that study's been retracted. However, I did a measles talk where I go through the other studies that have been done that show that what he was describing, the ileal nodular lymphoid hyperplasia related to the brain inflammation and autism, is a reality. And since then, there has been discovery of measles virus in those nodes in the intestines, and in addition, vaccine strain measles in those nodes. And that was done by Stephen Walker at Wake Forest University. And due to lack of funding and I would say somewhat a bit of intimidation, he's got over 200 samples that he could continue looking at, but he hasn't continued. But in my talk, I show his poster presentation and the information and give all the PMID numbers related to the bowel-brain measles virus, vaccine virus strain association. In addition, in Dissolving Illusions, I talk about other organ systems that show measles virus shedding after vaccination in conjunction with encephalopathy.
And just also, where is it at with William Thompson? I mean, it's been 4 or 5 years since he came out, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of movement on what he is going to do or in getting in front of Congress. Where are they at with that?
Okay, so can I just go back to Andy Wakefield for a second? If you've got any of the average question that every journalist or every person wants to know about Andy Wakefield, if you go to Autism Media Channel, YouTube, he has answered every single one of those questions. He's been asked them by a lawyer, and every question that you want is on there. It's under hot topics. Okay? Now, William Thompson, okay, so here's my answer to that. He's still at the CDC, he's afraid of his wife, and he's waiting for his pension. Remember this, everybody, he is not, in my mind, a hero, because he didn't come forward with this information. He spoke to Brian Hooker. Brian Hooker then took that information, gave it to Andy Wakefield, and it was made into a film. Brian Hooker's the hero here. And this man has not done what he should have done. Many children have died or have been injured since this man has not come forward. I think he's a coward, and I think shame on him for going out for money and being afraid of his wife. He should be out there talking about what has happened inside the CDC. And also, while I'm at it, shame on anybody else that knows that these vaccines are bad. They're in a position, either medically or politically, or at the CDC or anywhere else, if they are hiding this information, then they have blood on their hands. If Dr. Suzanne can come out and leave her well-paid job and do what she's doing now and tell the truth, so can everybody.
Yeah, hi. I just want to ask a question regarding healing of the body. And have you ever came across people with severe vaccine damage and have they used bioresonance therapies to actually treat the frequencies of the disease and the drugs in the body? Because using frequency, and this is German and Japanese technology, I believe, and it's the first protocol in their hospitals for children, is that with bioresonance practitioner, you can actually completely reverse damage in the body using frequency. Have you ever come across families who have used bioresonance therapy as a modality of healing?
I mean, I tell you what, I haven't, and I tell you why. My job is to go around recording stories of vaccine injury and the unvaccinated, so we never get into that. Do you know what I think that someone should do? Is set up another bus and go around talking about the therapies that have and haven't worked in our children, because that's not, unless anybody else has anything to say on that, that's not what we do.
I think just with the amount of anecdotal data that you've collected, have you ever noticed any families coming through with that anecdotal data that they've used bioresonance as a healing modality?
No, I haven't either.
But that doesn't mean that it's not there.
Okay guys, some of you have already emailed in and said that you had vaccine injury stories that you wanted to give to Polly. If we have spoken, I'm Jen. If we've spoken, please come and see me and I'll set you up with Polly to do your vaccine injury story. Upstairs, we will take you. And then if you have a vaccine injury story but we haven't already spoken, please come and let us know that you want to have that filmed and we can set that up. Dr. Humphreys and Meryl will be around for a little while to answer some more questions as well. I know a lot of you didn't get to ask your questions. And then Anu would like to talk about social media.
Okay. Can you hold that? Really quick, you guys, we get the same question everywhere we go, which is what can we do? And there's tons of things that you can do, but one of the main things that you can do is social media. Social media is the greatest tool of all time when it comes to fighting for civil liberties, okay? So first and foremost, take your phones out of your pocket, stop taking selfies and pictures of food, and start talking about what's going on. That being said, if you want to follow what we're doing, we have a few forums we go out on for our social media. One is Facebook, and on Facebook we are Vaxxed. We Are Vaxxed is the Facebook. You'll see our stories and a lot of the informational stuff. Also, we go out on Periscope. It's now called Periscope, and the screen name on there is @TeamVaxxed. And then we're also now going out a lot on YouTube, and our YouTube channel is Vaxxed TV. On Vaxxed TV, you will see the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stories that we've actually done, and they're categorized by vaccine, and you will be able to search those things. Okay? Thank you.
On a local level, guys, I have one more announcement to make. We are going to be starting to do social gatherings and getting to know each other. I think another thing that we can do that will be huge is for everybody to just come out and start talking to people. I know it's hard, but there are so many of us. I heard a story this week of somebody who's been scared to come out for a long time, and she finally posted one thing on Facebook and immediately got 4 messages from different friends that she's been socialising with who all think the same way. Now, if we all stand up together, nobody can beat us. If they realise how many of us there are asking these questions, and they're valid questions. So please, get onto the Visa website and Visa on Facebook, AVN, and particularly locally, the South Australian Vaccination Education Group on Facebook, so that you can catch up with our social gatherings and where we can all network together and empower each other to come out and be stronger.
And 2 final things, if you want to get involved with the AVN who brought the Vax team over here, you can go to avn.org.au, and on Facebook it's the Australian Vaccination Skeptics Network. And there's that will stand right here.
Wait, move away from the speaker. There we go.
We just have a gift for the team from a gentleman here who drew something pretty cool, so.
Hello, my name's Ben. I'm a caricature artist, and I've only just started. Yes, you're gonna love it. I've only just started going professional, but I've been very encouraged by all the work that you've been doing, and for a family who decided not to vaccinate back in 2008 until now, we're expecting our 5th child. We've got one partially vaccinated child, but it's very good to see this movie come out that we can just share with people. We've shared it with a number of people, and there's even, I think, one convert in the crowd here that it's because of me sharing, my journey. But I've done this, and I really hope you like it. but it's of the
That's awesome.
you guys. I don't know who of you is going to get to keep it. There's Brian on there. We've got a Brian as well.
It's so cool.
But yeah, I don't know where you want to put it, but I've got some protective stuff for it so you can keep it.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
That's so cool.
Okay guys, so vaccine injury stories over here, and we'll talk to Polly, and the other two just try not to bombard them too much.
Okay guys, hold on. We're gonna stay on for a second. We're gonna find out if we're gonna.
Are you still on?
Yes, I'm still on. Guys, caricatures are so great.
Look, she looks really young, and I look like an old bat.
These are so cool.
Yeah, Brian looks great. I love it.
This is so great, you guys.
It is so funny. Susanna,
Hey, look, it's a boomerang.
Look at your teeth. They look so nice. You've got no wrinkles or anything. No, thank you. Just rejuvenated me. That's hilarious.
This is so cool.
Suzanne, can I ask you a question? All right, we need to go do stories, guys.
Okay.
Is that my periscope?
You want to take We Are Vaxxed?
Okay.
Okay, we need to go upstairs and plug in. They're still on, right? Yeah. So let's, oh, sorry. Wait, hold on, Polly. Let her take a picture. Yeah, why don't we take a picture with him?
Let me grab this.
Hey, Jim. Can you take a picture of us with the artist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where do you go?
I'm gonna just climb up there really quick. Hold on, Suzanne, you gotta be on my left, and then Polly's gotta be on my right.
Coming up. Yeah, well,
We don't have Brian, but...
I'm here. You're here. We should have where's the guy that made it? He should be Brian.
Okay, you get to be Brian. On the other side, because Brian's not with us.
Baby
Yeah.
number 5. That's so exciting. Okay, or you can stay there. You're not vaccinating. You have a phone?
Can you...
I have both my hands. If one of you nice people can hold these, then I can.
I've got the other camera.
Right. If you can hold these two.
Yeah. What? Where? Well, look around there. Okay. Sharon, take a picture. Is this recording? Yes, it is. It's live. Okay. Hi. Hi, Polly. I think you're all never going to do. That's so cool. All right, stories. Can I just lean on you?
You're welcome.
Did he bring them? I think he did. There's no copies of the versions here to purchase, are there?
He probably had a copy
I
now.
heard a rumour that there would be some.
You might want to ask them in the back. I'm not actually sure.
Yeah, right. Yeah. End of the year. Australia.
And which is the same, AVN or
AVN.
AVN.
AVN AV.
This is scary, Jen. She'll
Yeah.
find you out.
Yeah.
She's like, hi. That's my name. Hey, this isn't Periscope.
I've got Periscope. Okay, shall we go upstairs?
Story time.
Story time, going up. We're gonna do our stories upstairs, yeah. Because we have to like plug in and stuff.
What's your name on Periscope? Okay, there you go. You've got some Australian Periscope things. I love that. Are you okay?
So we're gonna head upstairs.
It's been wonderful to be in
Huh?
Australia.
Okay, cool. Come with us.
It's hardcore, but you guys are very strong. Right,
We have our first story.
are you off our
Yeah.
Jen?
No, I think we're good. I think we're. Thank you.
Oh, should we do them in here? What's better?
It's fine, it's fine. I don't think most people would turn up, so unless I find them, I just send them up.
It's pointless going upstairs then.
Okay, well then let's just do it here. Let's go outside where it's a little bit quieter. All right, guys, hold on. We're gonna do a story. Oh, I was wrong, by the way. They did have the thing up there.
Let's go here.
Is it? You think it's bad out? Yeah, let's do it here.
Are you doing stories? Yeah. Come next. Right, okay. All right then. Okay, so can you tell everyone your name? I know you already have done that. We'll do it again. Stella. You're going to have to speak way up.
Stella.
Stella. Okay, Stella. And this is a story about you or your...
About me.
All right.
Okay. So my story begins back in 1969 in the UK, and I had the whooping cough vaccine.
Okay, it's too noisy.
It's too noisy. We can't do it here.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to go upstairs, you guys. It's way too loud down here. All right, we're going up, you guys. Is Polly with you?
She was.
Oh.
Somebody hugged
We lost her.
Yeah.
That happens.
She's getting hungry there.
Yeah, that happens. Okay, we're just gonna come up here. All right, you guys, we're back up here again. We're gonna do the stories up here. We're just gonna wait till Polly comes back. And meanwhile, while we're waiting for Polly to come back, do you need to plug in?
Yeah, I've got... Oh, my bloody leads are down.
You want me to go get them? I can set this up like this and
You know my bag is behind the desk.
Yeah, I'll go get that.
Thanks. Right, this is better. We can hear you now. The trouble is we miss... When we come up and hide away like this, we tend to miss stories. Yeah. Like that one we just spoke to. Okay, everybody. Here we go. Sorry about all the shakiness. I think America should be waking up fairly soon. Right. Here we go. Alright, so start again. So tell everyone your name.
Stella.
Stella, and this is a story about you, and I think you said Hep B, did you?
Whooping cough
Whooping
and
cough.
BCG.
Alright, so what happened?
Okay, so in 1969, I was vaccinated for whooping cough.
How old were you then? Do you remember me
I was
asking?
1 year.
Oh, so you were actually 1 year.
My first year of life. Shortly afterwards, I contracted what the doctor called croup. But my mum said, "Are you sure it's croup? Because it sounds remarkably like whooping cough."
Right.
And he said, "No, it's croup." But we treat it the same way as whooping cough. So I had that. And then I had many ear infections, earaches, 5 years of hell basically. I still recall lying on the sofa, holding whichever ear was aching. And when I was 1, I had a temperature of 104.2. I screamed for hours, and my mum called the doctor who was, the surgery had closed. It was a local village, a village in England, and the doctor...
Whereabouts in England?
Buckinghamshire.
Right.
And he came, he said, what happened? Oh, sorry, a bit nervous.
Don't worry, you're doing really well. I was just checking down. People are loving you. You're doing really well.
So, because I wouldn't stop screaming, my mum obviously went to call the doctor, but we didn't have a phone in the house in those days. And so our neighbour came and looked after me when she went next door in the terrace house and called the doctor. And he said, "Is that the child I hear screaming in the background? This is through walls. He can hear me." So she says yes, and he said, "What's the temperature?" It's 104.2. He says, "I'll be there in 10 minutes. Don't move her." My mum said, "Why not? It could kill her if you take her outside, even if you take her to the surgery, which is 5 minutes down the road." So within 10 minutes, he came up and he had something for me. He injected some antibiotics or something, and I began to calm down. So till he retired, he swore blind. He saved my life that night. Then at the age of about 6, the earaches stopped. But at 4.5, my eyes I started to go cross-eyed. And at 7, I had an eye operation to correct my vision, and thankfully it worked. At 13, I received the BCG jab. I didn't receive the rubella because I had rubella, so I didn't need to get that at school. Within weeks, my elbows and my knees ballooned to the size of tennis balls. The itchiness was horrendous. To this day, I actually have this issue. It spreads around my body.
Just swelling.
It's currently on my knuckles.
Oh, yeah.
It actually has reduced. I have finally found a cream 35 years on that helps it reduce, but I've got it on the elbows, still on the knees, and on the ankles and the top of my feet. And my parents took a lot of time off work to try and help find out what was wrong with me, hospital appointments, GPs, and we never could find out anything. In the end, they gave me a diagnosis of granuloma, and I've been on many medications, internal, external.
Do you have children?
I do.
Are they vaccinated?
No.
How old are they?
7.
They're twins?
Just one.
Just one, 7 years old. Good? All good?
All good. Yeah. So,
what does that say to you then?
It says to me I was a fool. Because
you weren't a fool, you didn't vaccinate your child.
But I vaccinated myself afterwards because I went and then had travel vaccines. We're travelling around Africa, which is the next part of my story. So, but let me just go one step back. I wanted to immigrate to over here because I began to get arthritis and the lifestyle was better over here. So I went to a Harley Street clinic and all was going really well with my medical, and at the end of the medical the doctor said, "What's that on your knuckles?" And I said, "Oh, it's just this thing." And he said, "Did you by chance have BCG and did you react and all that sort of stuff, and did this happen after the BCG?" And I said, "Yes, it did happen after the tuberculosis vaccine." And he said, "It's very well documented, your condition. You learned about it in medical school. And it's not actually granuloma, it's psoriasis." And he said, "I'm going to write this down on your medical form for immigration to Australia." I said, "Will it harm my application?" He said, no, we just need to record that you have had a reaction to the BCG." So before I moved to Australia, I decided to take a year off, and I went travelling, and I got a heap of travel vaccinations, not thinking any more of it. But within months of returning to England after travelling, I got pneumonia. So about 3 months after the last rabies vaccine, I got pneumonia. I recovered from that after about 5-6 weeks and went back travelling. And then I had to go back to England because I fell ill again and I had pneumonia again. This time, my doctor said we were going into hospital, and the hospital said, "We think you've got tuberculosis, so come on in and we're going to keep you in." And I said, "Well, how can I have tuberculosis with all that's happened?" And they said, "Oh, vaccines fail sometimes, you know, we just want to make sure you haven't got tuberculosis." So I was in hospital, and what they did was they took images of my lungs, and they took a biopsy of my lungs. And they said, "Have you ever had whooping cough as a child?" I said, "No, I've only had croup." And they said, "Okay, we think you've got lung cancer." So they said, "We'll have to wait for the biopsy results to come back because we don't know what that scar tissue is on your lungs." Now I'm 34 at this time when they're telling me this. So a few hours later, two senior surgeons and a young graduate doctor come back into the room, and they said, "Good news, you haven't got lung cancer, you've had whooping cough." And I said, "No, my medical records clearly state I've had croup." The young doctor wanted to impress the two surgeons, and he said, "Oh, what year did you have the whooping cough vaccine?" I said, 1969, according to my medical records. And he went, "Ah, there was a vaccine fail in Britain between 1969 and 72. It's very well documented. You can read about it in the Freedom of Information Act. Go online and find out about it." The next thing, this poor young doctor gets up, elbow in the ribs, because clearly he said too much. But I still didn't piece it all together. So, and then when I moved to Australia, I was diagnosed with having psoriatic arthritis along with psoriasis, and 6 doctors have been quite flippant about my BCG injury. "Oh yeah, we learnt that about."
It's really interesting because there's a lot of psoriasis around,
yes,
isn't there? I mean, a lot of people have psoriasis, and so they think it's a side effect from the BCG.
Yes, it's well documented. I actually went and researched it 13 years ago and found out about it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the psoriatic arthritis is all part of it. So I now look at 2 conditions. And I've only just found a cream that actually stops the itching and helps with the arthritis. And yeah, so it's...
Well, I think, you know what, another thing that Australia needs is a book. Like, you know, the Silent Witnesses downstairs that British parents wrote, and then over in America they wrote their own under Thinking Mums.
Yes.
You guys need to do your own. These stories are very important.
Mm-hmm.
So one of you two organise it.
Okay.
I nominate you. We've got to get going. You guys have got so much talent. Just got to come together and put it together.
Yeah.
All right, so your child's fine. To be honest, that's the main thing. Your child is you look fine. You got it under control. Horrific story, needs to be documented. I've learned from your story. I did not know about the BCG and the psoriasis.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Well documented from the 80s. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that age group.
Yeah.
My husband has psoriasis. A lot of that age group with psoriasis. It's always vaccines' fault in the end, isn't it? Yes. Right, good. Thank you so much. You're a wonderful person. I'm really looking forward to the Vaxxed bus over here in Australia. I want to see you all back on there, signing your names, and your boy on the inside. Is that boy? Boy on the inside, you on the outside. Right, who's next?
Thank you.
Is it anyone with a child or anything? Yeah. Do you have... Is it you? Oh, okay, I was going to say that was your brother. I was going to say, really young.
I've seen you so many times. I can't remember the name.
Oh, crikey, sorry.
Yeah.
My name is Polly. Yeah, and I'm
Hold
really
on.
sorry.
Hold on just a second, guys.
YouTube and we are we're YouTube and Autism Mothers just went flying thanks to my clumsiness.
My name is Iliana. It's Iliana Colgan.
Yeah.
And I come from not a medical background, but lots of people in my family have been doctors.
Where are you from?
From Romania.
You're from
so
Romania.
My first son was born there, and he had all the vaccines. He's 40, almost 40 now. So he didn't have, all this kind of, started from the first day.
Yeah.
The first day. But this one is.
Do you want to come and sit here?
No, I've never heard this story, I suppose.
Do you want to be on camera? You're very beautiful. Everyone will love you. You've got beautiful hair. Come sit down. You don't have to say anything. Just sit next to your mummy.
And she was born here 10 years after my son.
Right.
And we did not give her any vaccine until the age she was 1 year of age, because always she had, some infection or some colds or anything.
So you had nothing in your first year of life?
She had all the suppressions, from antibiotics. I'm a homeopath by trade, and I became a homeopath, classical homeopath here in Adelaide, thanks to her, because, at the age of 1, she had her first vaccine. And my family doctor warned me that she might have a little bit of temperature, give her Panadol or Panadine, she will have, she'll cry, she'll do this, she'll do that, but just don't worry about it. She had temperature like 38 point something at the age for about 3 days, which I found it quite unusual. And she had her leg red with pain, and she was screaming as if somebody beat her or want to eat her.
How old are you now?
Now I'm 28.
You're 28, okay.
That vaccination was in my leg, wasn't it?
It was in your leg. Yeah. And anyway, we went through it. We didn't pay too much of an attention, but she developed, she developed asthma, colds, which actually have been suppressed with or by antibiotics.
So you had a lot of antibiotics?
Yes, lots of antibiotics. And after that, the colds led to asthma. I was supposed to give her a puffer and give her some iron or whatever concussion, hold her nose, push it down her throat, help, with the help of the husband and the older brother, and she was a tormented kid, at this very young age. When I was so desperate, and I did not know what to do, how I can help my son and my daughter, because at least 3 times a year, especially during the cold time, winter, I was supposed to run to the children's hospital, stay there, for lots of hours, and just bring the nebulizer, bring this, bring that, and she was diagnosed as an asthmatic. And so I started to have a look around, just to see what's there. Has to be something else than the drugs, than the hospital, than this, that, and I could not accept that I would have a very sick child. So I had a look at nutrition, I had a look at herbalism, I had a look at lots of other modalities. One of the schools I was supposed to wear white, another school I was supposed to wear shoes, another one I was supposed to do yoga, before whatever. Another school they wanted money up front, the course. But somehow I came in touch with homeopathy. And they did not ask me about anything, only my studies, what I have been studying before, and I'm thinking this is the real thing. Well, it took me about 3 months to get used to the dilutions, to understand the principle of homeopathy, treat life with life. Took me a little bit longer to understand that actually vaccines are no use whatsoever. That, it does not help you at all, because if to understand that, I had to admit that actually I was ignorant, stupid, call it whatever, but this is how I was. I was relying on people, other people were saying, doctors, all this, but I did not do my own research. So I went heavily into homeopathy. And after I graduated, I realized that actually you need no vaccine whatsoever. Not even tetanus. My son has been hit by another kid, with a rock on his head. He has, scratch. They took him to the hospital, and my son said, "Oh, don't touch me, I don't want anything. My mother has to come, and she has to approve all this." And I did say, he does not need any vaccine. He said, but the rock was dirty. I said, I don't care how dirty it was. And I gave him a dose of it, which you know
Give him what?
Lidum
homeopathy medication.
Lidum palustre, yes, it's which is going to save any child from, it doesn't matter what rusty name he stepped on or whatever he did. I realized later on, because we did study anatomy and physiology, we did study biochemistry, we did study all the books and everything, all the courses that they do, you know, but they did not study materia medica, organons, they did not study the philosophy of homeopathy, they did not study anything. So this is my argument when they come across to me and they say, you are trouble, you are this. I say, well, I don't think I'm trouble, and if I am, you know, I'm right in my head. And my kids do not suffer of lots of things. I understood during the course that whatever disease is there, homeopathy can cover. Why homeopathy fails sometimes is because they are not good enough homeopaths. Homeopathy is huge, it's so big, it's so, and who is going to put money, you know, to have a good school of homeopathy, even for the doctors who turned into homeopaths, because homeopathy requires dedication, understanding, and all the fear is gone. I understood that actually measles, mumps, tetanus, whatever's there, it has been there. Nobody discovered anything, not even AIDS virus has been there. It's a disease of a very low immune system. And I understood that actually they invented autism. And they gave it to us, you know, on a tray like that, and we swallow it, and we cook it, and we place it without even knowing. I understood again, because when I came in touch with homeopathy, my husband didn't even know what I was studying. And I told him that I was having a meeting, I was having this, I was having for about 2 months. I told him about homeopathy because of the minimum dose. He did not take it seriously. But after 3 months, I told him, we do not vaccinate anymore. It's not possible. No, I disagree. And said, well, I did not ask you if you agree or not. I just told you that we are not going to vaccinate anymore, whether you like it or not. I gave him a few books and a few videos. He watched them, and today he doesn't even admit that he ever said that. You know, that vaccination is not on. Now, I have to, I don't know, what kind of mother I am? Probably I'm a crazy mother. My children are my children. And if my husband is going to say, you know, this I disagree with, and this and that, I have to have a look at it. But at the end, it's my word which counts. Because I was carrying them, you know, for 9 months. I was breastfeeding.
Right, you're the mother.
I was doing this, I was doing that, and that's it. And no government, no minister, and no medical doctor is telling me what to do with my children. And, well, with homeopathy, it's a little bit, you know, I practice it, I push it, I encourage people, and I say it's very there.
Where's the child?
A little bit, yes.
1 second, Jen, where's the child?
Downstairs with the carer.
Okay, we've got a child that's having a meltdown downstairs.
We're just going to get onto the mum.
Bring them up and we'll phase out.
The mum's going to talk.
You should write a book. Oh, maybe you could help her.
I don't think she would be so obsessed with homeopathy, and you can see she's found
beautiful girl.
An insane love for homeopathy if it wasn't for the problems that happened with me as a child. That really spun her around, and because I had such a turnaround with my health at 4 or 5 years of age with homeopathy.
My mum's the same as you.
In love.
My mum is exactly the same as you.
Yeah.
Now, would you ever have another vaccine?
No, never.
Good for you.
Since like 5-6 years of age, I grew up with her pushing me away from all of this, and I always wondered, why am I not getting the needle when everyone else in class is getting it done? And I would say I didn't know why. She wouldn't explain to me as a 5-6-year-old. The teachers would come to me and they'd say, but why? Why won't your mother have you vaccinated? And for about another 10-15 years afterwards, probably it was in my early 20s, when I came across it myself, my own information on my own, not with her pushing and shoving it into me as much, because I had a little bit of a A little bit. I couldn't help it.
Because she was coming home and said, Mandy said that you are stupid.
People
Diana
tease
said
me.
that
Oh,
I
they
know,
tease me.
I know.
And this and said,
And I
no,
was
go there
confused.
and tell them that their mothers are stupid. You know, if they want to talk to somebody.
Look, at least your mum didn't make soup from dandelion leaves in the garden and feed them to my friends wouldn't even come to my house.
Yeah, yeah.
Stinging nettle soup.
No,
Come on.
I'm not a herbalist, you know, because we don't take herbs either. You know,
No, I'm just saying.
they are very good, but kids don't want to take it. And when I give homeopathics to the children, you know, I say, oh, I want lollies, you know, that they're. So this is my story. And
Thank you for telling it.
With pushing homeopathy vaccination, it's like
No, the mum's right there. So she
Okay,
needs
bring
to
them over, yeah.
you
Okay.
have no fear.
You know, like when
so
when
much.
the Australian bus comes at the end of the year and definitely next year, can you have your mum go back and tell them the story and sign the bus?
yeah, I'll talk
good for
all
you.
the time.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you so
Jen.
much.
All right, good.
Yeah, yeah.
What are you eating?
I'm not eating it. No, I got a book.
Food. Oh, we got this. Chocolate. I'm gonna eat this now while I'm waiting. Yes, because when I go back to America, I will not eat any more chocolate. I promise. Come sit down. That's a big lie.
This is mum.
All right, thank you.
Recognise lies now.
Okay, so let's get the cameras on you. Are you okay? Okay, right. So tell us, anybody else want to? Okay. Tell everyone your name.
My name's Lisa Ellsmore.
And is this a story about you or your child?
About my child.
How many children have you got?
I have 3. I have a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old, that's the one that's affected with autism. She's on a high spectrum level.
Oh, she is?
Asperger's. She is, but she's currently having a meltdown.
I'm so sorry.
Friends with her.
Sorry about that, we kept you waiting.
And I have a 29-year-old who had a birthday yesterday. So that's when I'm in my 50s.
Do they all have the same father?
No.
Okay.
2 do, the 2 youngest do.
So, you, talk to me about the child that's injured.
Yes. Her name's Crystal, and she's 12. She was going for her 3-monthly vaccination, triple antigen, we called it back then. And she started having seizures, minis, shaky things.
Wait, what was that vaccine again?
Triple antigen, as far as I know.
What's that?
Which one?
Triple antigen.
Which one?
The triple antigen.
Yeah, is that all it was called? Did it?
Yeah. It's got 3 medicines, it's 3 vaccinations in one.
Right.
I mean, you don't know
Basically like
exactly
an
what
MRI.
each one is.
No.
Does anyone know? Help us out, peeps. We're stuck. Okay, carry on anyway.
Anyway, so she started developing like within half an hour after bringing her home from having this vaccination. She wasn't very well at the time, and I said to the doctor, she's got a bit of sniffle, and he goes, oh well, that's all right. Anyway, gave it to her. She had these seizures. I went to the doctors, took her to the doctors, and they said, oh, this is normal. And I said, no, it's not. It's never happened before in her life. And ended up that she had to have brain dots all over her head to have brain waves.
EKG.
Reams of paper of a brain
EKG,
wave.
right?
Yes.
Can you get me a Diet Coke and whatever you
Was
want?
at Flinders Medical Centre with a neurologist who took her through this test, and he came up and said to me, well, there's something definitely wrong, but we won't really know what it is until she's a bit older, until her brain's developed a bit more, because it's now damaged. And so we well, right, okay, great, thanks very much. And by the time she got to about 10, I had worked out there was autism program and we can get children tested and find out what's wrong. So I went through Head Start, which is the place in Unley Road in the city of Adelaide, and she was the specialist that diagnosed her, and another specialist, Dr. Lamb at Morphvale in Adelaide. So they both, you have to have 2 diagnoses from a specialist to get this diagnosis in Australia. And so they said yes, she has autism. autism on the high spectrum end, so it's called Asperger's, and now it's...
And she's had no more vaccines?
No.
And what about your other child? You're a younger one, yeah?
Yes.
Any
Boy.
vaccines at all?
He's had vaccines. He's also had bronchiolitis since the vaccines.
But have you stopped with him as well?
I'm not giving him anything. No, they will never have vaccines as long as I live.
How does it make you feel that you were lied to? That they even had them in the first
Can I
place?
swear? A lot.
Well, I don't know. I don't think you're allowed to, but nobody can.
It's
but yeah.
extremely disheartening considering I'm in the medical profession myself.
What do you do then?
I'm a registered nurse.
Do you give vaccines yourself?
I don't. No, I have never given a vaccine, but I don't work in that field anymore because I'm now her full-time carer. Because they don't.
How bad are her meltdowns? What's her life like?
Every day I get punched out, things get broken, she's violent, and then she can be a little sweetheart too. It's just depending on.
Are you from Australia or are you from England?
Yes, England.
Yeah, I can tell. Where are you from?
Sussex.
Sussex. Whereabouts?
A little place called Plumpton Green. Cute little place.
Do you miss England or are you happy where you are here?
England's too damn cold.
It's too cold, it's too cold, it's too small, it's too expensive and everybody's in a bad mood. Apart from our peeps. Okay, alright. Well, so will she need care for the rest of her life?
Yes. Yes, and I'll be the one doing it. Because there's nothing out there for me to... I can't even get her to go. There's no schooling that we can actually send her to that is going to help us. At this point, she's been in the classroom, in the front office, for 4 years straight. She's 12 years old. They expect her to go to high school next year. No. She can't even get her to stay for the whole day.
Are you a member of AVN?
I'm not sure.
Well, see Scary Jen over there, the one with the black top on?
Yeah.
She's not scary at all, she's lovely. She's very strict though. Anyway, speak to her about joining AVN. Jen and I are going to build an autism centre. It's going to be fantastic for the future. So join in with us, get going with her, okay? And we're so sorry this happened to you and I'm glad you know the truth about vaccines now. So no more damage will be done.
Well, I've been sus for a while. I quit nursing because of all the bureaucracy with all this stuff.
The lies.
The lies. I could feel it. I didn't even have to do the research, but I've done obviously the research, and I found that it's all based on money, nothing to do with health or caring for anybody. It's disgusting.
It is disgusting.
And our governments are all involved in it. And they're just making money out of our misery and the death of our children.
Yeah, but we're all joining together and we're one big force.
That's right, and we'll get them.
We will.
Fix their little red wagons.
Thank you, it's lovely to speak to you.
Okay, thank you. Got to go fix up
I'm
the
sorry
meltdown.
about the meltdown.
That's
I really
right.
am. I know too well what those are like.
She was supposed to be staying at my friend's basement, so I had to get in the car and come and we couldn't get out. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Lovely seeing you.
Lovely you doing this.
Of course. You're going to come see him. Bye, thank you. What a lovely lady. Hi. Are you coming to sit next to your sister? I mean your mama?
Firstly, Polly, I make natural handmade soap. Truly natural. No synthetic colour or anything.
Oh my gosh, people, look at this.
Please give Brian for something.
Yes, of course I will.
I've just been watching
So this is your company, you make this?
Yeah. And I just thought, it might be nice for you too. I know you guys make
I can take it home though, can't I?
What a bit yellow, yeah.
And now you see, this is wonderful, it smells wonderful. So we will share it, I promise. Oh lovely, thank you so much. And it's called soap. It's very important that we tell people this because we'd rather buy from each other than anybody else. What's the name of the website?
The website's soapinspired.com.
Oh, Soap Inspired. And you can see that, peeps. Probably a bit out of focus, but we'll put it on
I've
the
done a
website.
market today down in the city, so I just think as I left the market.
That's so lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you. Right, so this is the story about your brother, is it? Can you tell everyone your name first of all?
My name's Victoria.
And Victoria, do you follow us on social media? Are you on Periscope or We Are Back? Both. It's a peep. It's a peep. Okay, good. Well, let's hear the story.
Well,
is that?
No, that's another. He's got another story.
You've got a story as well. He's not. I'm sure so.
Yeah.
Is he unvaccinated?
He's partially vaccinated.
Okay. No more. But would you ever have a vaccine? No, you're done. Okay, good. You look healthy, so all good.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so my
you have to speak quite loud because it's getting noisy in
my
here.
story is about my brother.
Yeah.
He's 18 months older than me, and he was my parents' firstborn child. 3 months of age, DTP. 3 days.
He was 3 months old,
3 months old,
and he had the
yeah.
DPT vaccine.
Yeah. And 3 days later, mum found him unconscious, swore back. My mum was she was a deputy matron at the time.
She was a what?
She was a deputy matron at the time, so she was quite high up in nursing. And she specialised in paediatrics and midwifery.
Yeah.
So, children and pregnancy, and she, So he was vaccinated, and he had his reaction. She went in and revived him. Luckily, she knew how to do CPR on a baby. They rushed him to the hospital, and the first hospital they went to said, you might want to take him to the children's hospital. They didn't even, take it seriously. So they ran down to the children's hospital here in the city, and he fell unconscious again. And Mum had to get onto the table and revive him a second time. And anyway, cut a long story short, he nearly died. His brain swelled that much that it left him paralysed down one side of the body. And the doctor said to my parents, if I make funeral arrangements, it's easy to make it.
That's okay. I'm so sorry.
And I said, at best, he'll be the best children. So, put him in a home, go and have your children and get on with your life. He'll be a vegetable at best. So, but Mum being the person that she is, she did physiotherapy. He was, he had so many seizures and things after that. But because he's got cerebral palsy, so everything's all stiff, and I've got photos of him here.
How old is he now?
This is him now. He's
It's really hard to listen now, it's so noisy in here. Oh, he's very handsome.
You can see that's him fishing.
Where does who looks after him?
He has just in 2015 he moved out of home, so Mum was his full-time carer. Dad took off, he couldn't handle it.
Dad what?
Dad took off. He couldn't handle it.
He couldn't handle it?
No, but I've got four siblings.
You've got 4 siblings?
I've got 4 siblings, so he was the oldest, and look how beautiful he was, this little boy.
Okay, let me just show everybody, we've got lots of social media here.
His
Make
name's
sure.
Adam, yeah.
But what a waste of, a tragic waste of life.
Well, I never, I would have been good to have had a big brother, but I sort of, now I took on the role of being the protector, and if anyone teased him or stared at him, I'd be like, what are you looking at?
Yeah, it's very, very,
so I protected my brother.
very protective sister. Good for you.
And that's him when he was 3, and he still couldn't stand up at the age of 3. But Mum did all this, like she rolled him on a ball, and he was in calipers until he was 7 years old.
Now, did she vaccinate you?
This is the thing.
It's getting really noisy in here.
She did vaccinate me because the doctor said to her, that vaccine, it was the whooping cough component of the vaccine that caused all the damage. So you're fine to use CDT. You know. So I had combined injury tetanus, and my other 4 siblings did as well. We didn't have the one with the whooping cough in it. And then me, I've got 3 children. So my oldest, Jess.
Who's sitting over there? I don't know if he wants to be on camera. Do you want to be on camera or not? Come sit next to your mum. Come and see what mostly unvaccinated, healthy boy looks like. How old are you?
23.
23.
More photos. Like you can see he's sort of, spastic.
Is it so you've met your uncle?
Yes.
He lives within walking distance of us, and we see.
It's very tragic, isn't it, that a vaccine can do this to someone?
Yeah.
And they'll still go out there and say that vaccines are safe and effective.
An entire life, like, changed.
Have a look at him. That's him. He was 20 years old. We went to an area school in the country.
A what?
An area school. So it takes children from reception until, leaving school age. And so we were lucky because we were all in the same school together and I could protect him. But prior to moving to the country, he went to a special school, and I tell you, we have met so many vaccine injured kids through my brother.
Let's have a look at these pictures of them.
I did vaccinate Jess and my daughter Anna.
When did you start?
I stopped when I had, my daughter's 11 now. I stopped when I was pregnant with my youngest, who is 6.
They're putting pressure for her to have the HPV vaccine.
No way, she's not going to school on those days.
No.
The reason why I stopped is because when I was pregnant with my last child, we had access to much better internet then. Prior to that, our internet was very, very slow and really hard to get on. But yeah, we got broadband internet, and I was pregnant with him, and I started looking at all these vaccines. And I said, Mum, all of these vaccines can do what
happened to Adam?
All of the vaccines can do that. I'm not vaccinating this child, and so Anna didn't get hurt. She got tetanus. She didn't get it because they didn't do CDT when she came home. But she got, they just both got MMR.
You did?
But I stopped vaccinating at 18 months old, and Lil Levi, he's had a vitamin.
Do you get put under pressure at any point to get vaccine?
I'm sure that I got a vaccine at school. I'm so sure that I got a vaccine at school.
I didn't get any, there was no permission slip.
Yeah, I just went in with the rest of my classmates and got
whatever.
Yeah.
That's what I'm scared about when they're schools now, because they shouldn't be doing it.
No, they shouldn't. But the good thing is that we're educating our kids to say, listen, this is going to happen. Yes. They're going to tell you your parents haven't got medical degrees and we know better and all this kind of, you're going to get cancer and we're going to save you and all that kind of stuff.
And before we even knew that vaccines were, dangerous, it felt wrong.
It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't.
Even as a kid when you're lining up
I think
school.
Kids know.
Parents know too.
And then you see those babies screaming in doctor's surgery. Tiny little prick. Something's wrong.
I wanted my mum to come and I wanted her to bring my brother because I wanted photos.
Oh, we want to meet. Well, listen, when the bus comes, the Australian bus, you're going to have some great, wonderful peeps on there. Some lovely girls are going to be your host. 2 of them. They're fantastic. You're going to love them. And you make sure you bring your brother along for that. And he can sign the outside and... You can't sign the inside because you have had some vaccines, even though, but we have a little section in our bus in America that those that were vaccinated and made it, so you could sign that. But if you were to have children, nothing.
So just had ear infections, antibiotics. My daughter had asthma, got hay fever and allergies. The one that's not vaccinated has had nothing at all.
I don't even like antibiotics.
But he gets over it so quickly.
Yeah. Your antibiotics given up for no reason. I think you only really need them if you're on death's door. They just say, oh, you've got an ear infection here, take these antibiotics.
We should not be supporting GPs who do this to us.
No, I agree. Suzanne was right when she said that tonight.
Yeah.
And Anu should not be buying me drinks like this.
No, sugar is...
I never drink that. You need to know that. Not me. It's Anu. And this is what Anu gave me, everyone. I'm going to dob him in. I'm so thirsty, I drank it. Bad Anu. What? Anu's talking away over there.
But yeah, something about Adam. Doesn't matter. Oh yeah, I wanted Mum to come and tell the story, but Mum, because Mum's got PTSD.
We'll give her our love. And thank you for being such a great sister.
Oh, no worries.
Look after your uncle.
He's amazing.
And get him, yeah, definitely get him out when the bus comes.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
I mean, it's probably going to be the beginning of next year, but I think they're going to try and get it out as soon as they get back from America with us. They're coming to us in October.
Yeah,
it's going to be so good. The whole team. We've got some great peeps that are going to be doing that.
When you had Katie on in the pram,
yeah.
I'm wheeling her in the pram.
Yeah, it's not okay.
That could have been his. I said you would vegetable like that, sitting right down the street, so you're going to feed yourself and you do it. And I cried and I watched it and I said, I don't want to traumatise her, but she needs to be raised. Once we go that day, we'll just take her home. She needs to be raised that way. No vaccine.
I'm starstruck right now.
Do you know what? You don't look old enough to be a mum, does she? You must be so proud. You've got such a young mum. How old were you when you had him?
I was 19. I can't believe I'm sitting across from you.
No, you did a great story.
And I really want to give Brian Hooker a hug.
You want to do what?
I want to give Brian Hooker a hug.
Oh, well, we'll give him one for you.
Thank you.
I know it's such a shame he couldn't finish our tour. He's such a good man. Have you given Suzanne a hug?
No.
Actually, she's sick, so give her a bit of a wide hug.
Yes.
We'll go and give her some love.
Yes.
But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm glad, you know, your future's going to be great because your kids are going to be unvaccinated. Nothing better. We need you. Come and have a seat. That's okay.
Hi, Polly.
Hello.
It's so nice to meet you.
I'm sorry you had to wait so long. So tell us who you are. Tell everybody here. You're out going out on 4 social media groups.
My name's Matt. And my little story goes back 39 years ago.
Are you British as well?
I'm originally a Geordie, yeah. But I'm an Anglo-Australian now, so...
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, carry on.
Been here for a long time. What happened, my wife and I had a 12-month-old baby at the time, and we had friends round for dinner and socialising, and one of our friends' sister, who was also around having meals and spending time with us around the baby, she was diagnosed with hepatitis. So at the time I was only 25 years old, bit green, and with the baby I got a little bit paranoid, and I took my wife in to go to the doctor to get checked out to make sure that, you know, there was no chance of any contamination or hepatitis. So I probably overreacted, but we went on to the doctor's surgery, and our family doctor wasn't present at the time. He was away on leave, and we had a local doctor who didn't know me, so I explained the reason for coming to see him, and just a little concerned about whether the baby was okay, because I understand that hepatitis is a serious disease, and he explained that if it was hepatitis C, there was no vaccination, but hepatitis B could give us a shot. And so my wife and I agreed that we'd have the shot, but he said that the baby, 12 months old, was too young at that time. It's a different story.
The baby at that time was too young for a hepatitis B shot, but now they give it on day 1.
That's right, 12 hours old. So we agreed to having a shot because we thought that was a good precaution.
You and your wife, yeah. Baby too young at 12 months old.
That's right. My wife gives the baby to me. She gets a shot. I give the baby back to my wife. Get a shot on the backside. Within, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds. And I did feel a reaction, immediate reaction, like a funny sort of reaction, going from, I had it in the buttock. I felt like a warm feeling travelling up my body to my head, and then power was out.
Straight away?
Straight away.
Wow.
And I fell back, and I banged my head on a desk, and I was unconscious on the floor. I woke up a few minutes later. I have no idea how long I was down there. I just went totally blank. And it was like some silly cartoon with a guy slapping you to try and wake you up, and this face of despair from this doctor who had a look of, gee, what's going wrong here? And since then I haven't had any other field vaccinations. I don't intend to. And
what did they say to you? What did they say?
Well, there was no report given, and we just sort of dispersed from the surgery. And I do remember on the way home my wife saying to me, when you were out, that doctor really thought it killed you.
Really?
That's what she said. I remember that.
So did this teach... All right, carry on.
So, there I am, I'm 25 years old. I've always been very physically fit and healthy. I'm at the prime of my life. And look what that does to me. And what does that do to a baby who, on day one, gets the same dose as what I got?
Yeah. Now, how long ago was that? What year was that, you
That was
reckon?
1978.
In 1978, the doctor told you that your 12-month-old baby was too young to have a hepatitis B shot. There you have it, peeps. Now, did you go on and carry on vaccinating your children, or did you? You were like, we're done.
No.
Did you have to have vaccines to come out to Australia?
Oh yes, I do. I've actually got my vaccine immunisation card to get into Australia. I found it in my parents.
So you had to have some stuff for that. But nothing. Do they try and want to give you the flu shot and the shingles shot and all that?
I had a visit to the doctors a couple of months ago. The doctor said, "Would you like a flu shot?" Just out of protocol, because. It's coming up for winter. Everyone should get the flu shot because it's so good and saves everybody's
Well, you
lives.
just tell him you've had every strain of flu ever. You don't need a flu shot.
I just told her outright. I said no, thank you, and left it at that.
Yeah, good for you. And how's your wife?
Well, she's
all right.
Good health.
And do you have grandchildren?
Yes, I do.
And are they unvaccinated?
Yes, and they are so healthy compared to the vaccinated.
Oh yeah. Into the film and thank you. Telling the story.
I'd like to thank you and Dr. Suzanne.
Brian Hooker and well, listen. Actually, you know what? It's the people that are watching you now on social media. This was about to die. It's about to change over. Who are the people that we all need to thank? We're one big team.
Yeah, we might get this message out.
Yeah, we will.
Because they're coming down hard on us.
Yeah, but we're not going to take it. We the peeps. Power to the people. We will not allow it. Over our dead bodies will they shoot our kids or us up with any vaccines. Thank you so much. Give our love to your wife.
I will do.
All right, wonderful. You next. Come on in. And no, you shouldn't have got me this drink. They saw it. But I don't know. Never mind.
I'm so sorry, Polly.
It was an accident. Oh, did someone give it to you?
Yeah, I think so. By the way, this is also for you.
Okay, thank you. Hello. Hello again. So just tell everybody your names again.
My name's Anne-Marie.
Charlotte's one of my favourite names. How old are you, Charlotte? And you've lost a tooth. Did the tooth fairy come? How much does the tooth fairy give these days? $2.
2 teeth in 3 days.
Good for you. Exciting. Okay, so who's the story about?
Myself and my 4 children.
Okay, right, and we might have to move a little bit. It's getting loud in here, so move a little bit closer. Are you together? You don't want to be on shot? Why not?
That's for a change.
What do you say? He's a scaredy cat.
Yeah, I'm going for a change of career, so I need to.
What did he say? I can't hear him. I think he's pretending that he's in the SAS or something really powerful like that. And he's got a government security job, and he can't be on camera for reasons like that. It's just pretend. Alright, okay. So what happened to you first? Okay, guys, you have to keep it down. We can't hear.
I was born in England myself, and my mum brought my brother and I over. We had all of our vaccinations up to date, but when we came over here, I had to have them over again.
So how old were you when you came over here? So you had a whole load, another dose of MMR, DTaP, all that kind of stuff. Do you mind me asking how old you are?
I am 42.
Okay.
So fast forward through to my 20s, was feeling quite ill all the time.
But did you have any vaccines then?
No.
No, you were just ill, yeah.
Yeah, just wanted to sleep all the time, depression, all sorts of things. I got my marriage, I had my first child at 20, I wanted to be a big healthy mum, so I went to self and the doctor's office on the insurance on my side. After each time, I noticed the issues like lethargy, sleep a long time, which was great. I could get so much done. But when she was waiting for the shots, she convulsed, her eyes went back, and that was it for 3 days.
What did you have? MMR, DTaP?
She's 20 now.
Oh, okay, it's your other child, yeah, so it's DCT. Yeah.
When we were at triage, because we were at my ambulance, when we were at triage, she'd been sick lately. I said no, but she was already vaccinated.
1 second, no, it's so noisy in here, we can't do it. Could you maybe get those people to move away?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So in triage they asked, when I said it was vaccination, there was a gist and an eye roll, and I knew straight away that it was me. No one would actually say anything except for one intensive care nurse. She did say that there was temperature was 42. So then fast forward to much later, she now has thyroid issues. I've had thyroid issues. And I'm also had brain inhibitors, antibodies, so I had to have my thyroid removed. And it looks like my
How old's Ashley? He's on the spectrum. And what about this one?
When I was pregnant, it was a really rough time. 30 weeks
How was the brain hemorrhage thing?
It's all been downloaded now, thankfully, so she has quite that weakness, mostly in her right leg. She just needs to wear the glasses.
How do you feel? Do you feel healthy? You look healthy. Did you go to school?
If she gets ill, 2 days max, she's good.
Best thing you did was not vaccinate.
The other kids would always.
So what's your conclusion as a family with the vaccinated versus unvaccinated?
Unvaccinated, they were. She's so healthy.
Do you wish you'd never given any vaccines to other children?
Never.
How do you feel about the fact you were basically lied to?
I'm so angry. They've robbed us. Potentially going to marriages, just so much.
Yeah. And it does put the most immense pressure on marriage and finances and everything you dreamed.
Yeah.
What do you think about the people who go around saying autism is a good, vaccines are safe and effective? And they don't even enjoy it either. The ones that I speak to just say their life is a misery, it's hell. Well, Charlotte, this is way past your bedtime, isn't it? Thank you for coming. Did you watch the film?
I've watched the film a few times.
What do you think of the film? Are you? What kind of is your favourite dance?
That's crazy.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us. No, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Australia's great. Love it. Okay.
Do you want this one and then
her.
You've got 4 more in total. One of them doesn't mind if she doesn't go. She's just a healthy unvaxxed.
Okay, you're alive, sir.
And then the 3 of them do really want to do this. This is one
Hi.
Jen?
How are you? Well, you smell really nice. Is that peppermint? It is peppermint. You were in a car accident? Oh no. I'm sorry to hear that. Right, let's just get these cameras. So you're going to be sitting, let's have a look like that.
And if you could please speak up. Just a little bit.
Yeah, because it actually, we came up here because it was quiet and now it's got really loud. So is this a story about you or your children?
My children.
Okay. So, have you seen the work we've done? Oh. Is that okay with yours? A new look?
I know.
Oh, that was rated. Have you seen the? So you're live at the moment, and these are people who are your friends. All right. So, how many children have you got? I've had 7. You've had 7 children. Clearly not now. No. Is this a story about someone you love? All right. Okay. Let's do it. Tell us about it. I know it's going to be hard for you. Sorry about that.
Jen?
This week on the 10th, my son called who was vaccinated.
How old is he?
3 days short of 18 months. So he was vaccinated.
Do you know what he had? DTP and what do you usually be? Doesn't matter if you don't know.
Sorry. So he was into hospital. So he was in care with the hospital.
Why? What happened to him?
Well, he ended up with a temperature, he had febrile convulsion, so he was admitted into hospital and kept overnight, and he passed away during the night.
Did you have any idea that was going to happen, or did they warn you?
Absolutely no idea. He was my third child, and like I said, they'd been vaccinated, and absolutely. Previous vaccination, he'd actually had a really bad swell, and when he had that vaccination, I mentioned that, and they said, oh, that was a bad batch. Well, that was just staff talking, yeah, but it was certainly not good.
Did you report this death?
Because it was in hospital and it was another regular passing, it was a coroner investigator and said that was just a virus that he contracted. Yeah,
That's such lying.
There were three, I had a 5-year-old, a 2.5-year-old and a 2-month-old at home, and they were all fit and healthy. They hadn't had any vaccinations at that time, and they had a sniffle, so it was to have a virus to cause such an accident.
So sorry. So did you vaccinate your future children after that?
I did, because at the time I wasn't aware of what it was, because
let me have a look. Let's do this one at a time. I'll do one at a time. Keep them on her and I'll come back. There he is, beautiful boy. What's his name? Corey. I'm so sorry. It's disgusting how many, just 1 second, let me just put this down so I can show you the rest of them. It's disgusting how many lives have been lost or ruined because of there he is. I don't know if you can see him, but there's Corey. Beautiful boy. Let's have a look. I don't know if that's in the right place there. Yeah?
So next thing is, I went on the one future children out there, but 2001 a little girl who was born with a heart condition, and she got to the last century in Melbourne, and so she wasn't vaccinated because of her heart condition, and that's a very successful.
What do you mean it wasn't successful?
She passed away.
She passed away, you had to do it? Oh my gosh.
In 2005, my Australia's 22 passed away. So
he passed away at 22 years old from a motorcycle accident. How much grief can a mum?
She hasn't had time to even think about it.
And they've been there for
And he's a beautiful, Corey, beautiful boy, and so you don't have any unvaccinated grandchildren?
No, but my youngest daughter is not vaccinated. The youngest child is not speaking at the moment at 16 months. She is becoming more aware. And the knowledge now is just researching and looking at responsibility.
There's so much bullying going on with these doctors to these young parents. That's the problem. Frightening them that children are going to die, they're going to have a brain hit, they're going to have this, they're going to have that. And there's stories like Corey's story.
I didn't have internet 30 years ago, but when internet came along, I've been doing many years, 20 years of research, working pharmacy, I still research it because there's so much more to really research and just keep.
Well, can you send a picture of, well, could you take that picture of Corey? I know it's not the best quality, so we can put him on the bus.
Sure.
So he can travel with us in the front line. We need to just take a picture of that, and Anu will take a picture of that for us. Doesn't matter. At least. No. This is your precious picture. Yeah. Oh, I knew we can sort that. Yeah, I'll take that. Thank you and thank you for being her friend. Best friends are so important. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll be right back. I was pregnant at the same time as she was.
Are your children vaccinated?
My grandchildren.
How are your grandchildren? Can you come and sit up here so we can see you? So wait a minute, guys. There's all these cameras a bit skewy here. So your grandchildren are not vaccinated?
No, I've got 5 grandchildren.
I bet they are. What are their ages?
Sorry?
What are their ages?
My oldest one's 13, the second, and then the next 2 are 8, and then 6, and then I've got a 7-month-old who they tried to push in my door with a bottle of vitamin K, like the doctor and 2 other people came in, and then I'd already been on the phone, like sending her information, and then we all walked in, and so there was more families with doctors, and she just said, well, I don't even vaccinate. I've looked into this, I'm happy with my research, so we just sort of looked out together. I'm sure they all looked at this.
Well, I'm so happy that you guys have got each other.
Yes.
That's wonderful, and we'll put Corey on the bus with us, and you keep telling that Corey's story as much as you can muster up the strength to do, because you know what, every time you do, somebody somewhere's listening. And somebody will think, oh, you know what, I'm not going to take that risk. So I really appreciate you doing that. And when the Australian bus is up and running, if you can go and tell a story and sign Corey's name on there, and all your grandchildren with their injuries as well.
Yeah.
I think Australia's going to fill its bus up faster than America.
I actually think so too, but it's been a testing ground for a long time.
Well, the more your press and your government scream at you, the more the people get angry.
That's what I love. And I actually, when I hear, the media and all that, I think you are
idiots.
You are idiots, because what's happening is you're making people want to hear and say, no, that's something's being. If we can't.
Well, I don't think these people are very clever. That's exactly the problem. If you were clever, you would. If all they had to do was never mention Vaxxed or the fact that we're in this country, that you couldn't have paid for the press they've given us.
Oh, I know.
Idiots. Horrible Hank and Jack the Rat. My goodness.
It gives me lots of opportunities to have conversations.
Really silly billies, a lot of them.
It actually opens up the conversation. They might be trying to shut us down.
All right, I'm being moved on by Jen. Listen, big love. Mwah. You're one brave lady. We love you very much. Really, we do.
Thank you.
Keep in contact, okay? Yes. All right. Kitty. My niece is called Kitty. It's a great name. Kitty! Just don't marry Mr. Katz. You'll be Kitty Katz. Okay, come sit down. Hello. Can we get you all in shot now? Are you together, yes? Yeah. Sorry to keep you waiting so long. Here and now. I can't believe the quality on YouTube. It is, the camera of YouTube is way better than, I hate to say it, we are back to Facebook. YouTube's the future, guys. Okay, is this our last story? No.
It might need to be, just on time and
Is Suzanne feeling ill?
But, pardon?
Where's Suzanne?
Yeah, she's not well.
Okay, we need to, okay.
Yeah.
Really? I must tell her about vitamin C. Alright, so tell us who you are.
So I'm Nonny.
I used to have a babysitter called Nonny. Yeah, anyway. Carry on.
So we have
okay, thank you so much.
We have a 13-year-old with severe autism, and he runs on with it. So
okay, so how many children have you both got? How old is he the eldest?
He's the eldest, and then the second one, he was born 6 weeks after Bailey was diagnosed, and when he was 6 weeks old, we saw a biomed doctor.
A what doctor?
Biomed.
Oh, biomed, yeah, I know, yeah.
Knows their stuff about it. And he basically said, you need to research these vaccines before you put anything else into that second child, else you may have two the same. And so he has to do vaccine. Yeah. So
do you know, so the boy that's injured, where is he? He's not here, is he?
You would know if he was here.
Yeah, okay. You say he's 13? So you've got all puberty and all that stuff, so we're fun, yeah?
We'd love to get you alone for an hour to go through some of those.
Wicked stuff. Yeah.
And he's a gorgeous, gorgeous kid. I bet Billy is as well.
Of course
Just
they're gorgeous kids, but you know. So when he was born, you're saying he was healthy?
Yep.
What about, when do you think he got injured? What age?
So with him, I heard Dr. Suzanne did a talk on, like setting their bodies up basically for that injury. So he was born into a family with autoimmune conditions and gut issues, and so we started off with that. And feeding was really difficult and painful, which later we found out candida. So he's obviously getting that pumped into his gut. No one told us anything. We were pro back. He has a science background.
What science are you in?
Well, I didn't have science degrees, so I'm being immunology. And I was pro vaccine to get, and then I would rant and rave, to the cows come home and call people who now think, well, we do words that I can't say. And,
that's why they can't call us anti-vax. We were ex-vaxxers. We have to be.
Sadly I was wrong. I remember hearing someone on the radio program saying just what we're saying, and I just went at them thinking, what?
So this is interesting. What were you thinking? Tell me what you're thinking
I was
then.
all about the herd immunity. My kids are taking the brunt for everyone else. You guys are just relying on on me having my kids immunised. I was wrong because we didn't know.
And my grandfather had polio, and he lived to 85, had 3 kids, 6 grandkids, and a million great-grandkids and whatever. And
did you ask him if he had the polio vaccine?
I didn't, and he's passed away now, so I don't know, which I'd love to.
Everybody I've interviewed that's had polio got it from the vaccine.
But I choose that over autism.
Yeah. And he even did a 180.
Sorry,
when we
instantly, just noted.
Do you know when? So I know we're in a rush, but when Billy was about 3, this nurse said to me and my husband, "Well, Lucy hasn't got club foot." I saw it. The nurse. Now, would you take 1,000 club feet over what we're doing?
It doesn't even compare, does it? It's just not even.
But that's the mentality. People think autism is a gift. Now, tell us about your son's autism.
One in a million is not worth it.
So you as a scientist, and what did you used to do?
I'm a teacher.
And you're a teacher. Educated people. You saw your child before the onslaught of vaccines.
When I saw on the movie when you had the baby up with your husband there kissing his tummy and giggling.
That was our son, exactly.
Completely normal.
The giggling and the Sarah.
That's before. So he was around 1-ish. You can see his eye contact.
We're just going to go around this with all our meters. So there you go. Showing we are vaxxed first. Periscope. Pre-vaccine.
And we were so pro. I don't even remember when he went in for his vaccine shots. I paid no attention.
Right, and you don't even know what you're getting because the doctors know best.
I did not even. I wouldn't go 2 the day from when he.
Yeah, that's 6 weeks after he was diagnosed. So you can see the difference in his eyes.
They're the same photos that we get shown every single day from around the world. And that's why it's so good we came to Australia and went to the UK and America. Same story.
Yeah. Well, with him, at 11 months, he had his first bout of croup, and we ended up in hospital. They forgot we were in the waiting room until he stopped breathing, and then thankfully vomited all over the floor. He's a good revenge vomiter. Took us in, and his oxygen was really low, everything. So, immunosuppressant drugs to sort this out. 2 weeks later, I went through his 12-month shots, and they gave you the sheets. List the basics of what might happen, and you think, oh, it's not going to happen because I've never heard of that happening. And one of them was if they're on an immunosuppressant drug. And I said to the nurse, that was just at the council chambers because they had vaccine nurses there. I said to the nurse, oh, he had dexamethasone 2 weeks ago. Is this a problem? And she went, oh, is he well now? And I said, well, yeah. And she said, he'll be fine then. And I still remember that conversation. I don't remember a lot from back then because we were tired and whatever. But that conversation, and I wished that it was fine. So then after that, we had fruit once a month. We were in hospital in the ER once a month for 2 weeks of biometric sequencing. And then after that, the zinc changed. No more fruit unless we lowered his dose of zinc, and then we'd get it again. But his immune system was just trashed. And then while he was having that, the same story.
We gave him antibiotics when he was 10 or 11 weeks. He went in because he had like 38 temperature, and nowadays obviously you just ignore it. But I didn't know. And I remember sitting with the doctor and he said, I can't tell anything's wrong, but we'll give him antibiotics anyway.
He couldn't see in his ears, and I think
I don't know what it is. Were you guys brought up in Australia or England?
Yeah, Australia.
Were you taught to sort of, as you're told, and obey and respect people in authority? Do you think that's, I feel like that's where we went wrong.
We never questioned
really good schools, and the more money you spend on schools, the more you taught to obey even more. So messed up. Right, so what, you've got another boy and you didn't vaccinate him after 6 months. How's he?
He's brilliant. So he only had the Hep B at birth because I remember sitting in the hospital crying while they gave it to him because I'd said, is there a link, is there a link, is there a link? And they're all going, no, don't be ridiculous, you have to do it. And I'm thinking, we've not even researched Hep B. We didn't research anything. So he's had that one and that's it.
When you were at school, I would have been painful. They don't tell you that.
And so how old's he now?
He's 11.
He's 11, he's fine.
Absolutely, but never sick. Ever.
So how does he feel about his brother? That's a tough life for him.
Do you know what? He said to me, how come he got the vaccines and I didn't? And I'm like, oh, his heart just breaks. And we're like, we didn't know, and now then we knew. So
it's really, do not underestimate, my advice to you guys, do not underestimate the sadness in siblings. It's desperately deep down and they try to be everything they think they should be of what you've lost in your other son. Pressure on them, even though you might not put it on them. And I cannot tell you what a hard life siblings have from deep pain from them. But that's why it's important they all get together. We almost need like a worldwide sibling conference where they all get together and I don't know what. Talk it out because there's so many in the same situation. So what about the future of your, what's the name of your boy?
Bailey.
Bailey. What's the future for Bailey?
Well, he's
probably clinics and
we're hoping you're going to come to
not a clinic. I'm not going to a bloody clinic. I'm sending a really amazing or fantastic. God, they deserve the best life ever. They're in the wrong hands. They're so vulnerable.
We haven't given up yet.
We haven't given up. What happened with him? We did a lot of, biomed stuff and, all the therapies and maybe and that. And so he started with an ATEC score, the ATEC scores, so autism treatment, above 100. So he started off in the severe range. We got him down to 29, so he was top of the mild range. And then when he was 10, he got a strep infection, antibiotics, and then he's back to 113. So started all the head bashing, started everything. We're just like, we've lived in hell for the last 3 years until a mum.
Screaming for 3 hours is abnormal at night time.
You might want to think about having a consultation with Suzanne. The mums, you say the mums are the ones who, I put a thing on Facebook once about a bad day we were having, and this mum from America sent me a message and said, look into this protocol. We looked into it, whatever, and then we thought we need some fresh eyes, different doctor, just to see what's going on. We went to this guy and he said the same protocol, we put him on it, and we are seeing improvement again. So you're going to keep going. I mean, you've got puberty and all that stuff to deal with. So now, are you members of AVN?
Not yet, but
okay.
We're planning on it.
Speak to Jen because we're hoping to build these autism centres over here. And we're going to need people like you guys to get involved.
Absolutely.
And if Australia do not let you back in the country, we can still work via Skype.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Whatever, Jack the Rat, we're good. Horrid Hank or whatever your name is. Okay, there's Jen. Make sure you do. Keep in contact, okay? It's only because Suzanne's not very well that we're looking at. I definitely recommend you have a talk with her on Android.
The other two are healthy
Keep in contact. Jen has all my details. Who's our last
Let's
story?
let's do one more.
An anaphylactic reaction that wants to go. There's 2 unvaxxed stories.
Where's the
They're fine.
Where are they?
Anaphylactic. Yeah. Okay.
Thanks. Yeah, let's just keep going.
Let's keep on.
So our last night in Australia. Hi. Hello. Tell everyone who you are. You're live on social media.
Hello. My name's Julie.
And do you follow us on Periscope or Facebook?
No, I don't know about that.
Okay, good. So the people are welcoming you with hearts and lights.
So you're fresh eyes.
Fresh. I have a story that we wanted to tell you.
Okay.
She talks to me, and when he was so young,
at 8 weeks old, so the DTP, or just Yeah, that's a wicked vaccine.
So this is a picture of him the day before he got vaccinated.
Okay, let's show everybody. There he is. It's not, I'm not.
Happy with the baby.
I can't really see very well here on the light. Beautiful baby. Oh, look at that happiness.
Anyway, after his vaccination, he screamed a lot, cried a lot that night, very different cry than what I thought I noticed. He was very unsettled, didn't sleep at all. The next day, eczema starting. So about a week after his vaccination.
Oh, wow.
And also what happens, he started reacting to anything my breast milk. He started having allergic reactions to, we didn't know what it was at the time, but this started as well.
So it's like a rash all over the neck and face.
A week or so after we got vaccinated, he started having these allergic reactions to, he was only being breastfed, he wasn't eating, nothing else in his environment had changed at the time. The only thing that had changed was he got vaccinated. So we had about 6 months of trying to figure out. I was taking him to doctors, GPs, the surgical pediatrician. I brought up the fact that this happened after we got vaccinated. They didn't really want to know about it. They just said it was a coincidence. They said it was a coincidence that it happened at the same time that he got vaccinated.
A coincidence?
Yes.
It's a coincidence he has this horrific, and he's a really nasty rash. I mean, it looks like he has some really nasty eczema in there.
Yes,
sorry.
So he had the eczema, and then he also had this anaphylactic hives. So you can see the hives in his head and his forehead. Yeah.
I'm not sure we are back to showing that very well, but yes.
So when he was about 7 or 8 months old, we discovered that he was allergic to certain foods. He was allergic to dairy, eggs, nuts, fish. And if I ate any of that food and it went through my breast milk, it would come out in all these rashes all over again. So we ended up going to return the therapist to get help because he was trying to go to the rashes. And there's only a few things else was
So he never had another vaccine again?
No, he didn't. I had 2 other children after that who got vaccinated. And they're perfectly fine. And
do you see any of the rash in your unvaccinated children like that?
No.
Same dad?
Yes, same father.
The same father. First baby, absolutely fine, gets vaccinated, horrific rash, which he's told is a coincidence. Other 2 babies, unvaccinated, no rash.
That's right. And he's
going to have to be a bloody scientist to work this out, here.
He's 20 years old now. He's doing a lot better, but he does still have anaphylactic reactions to nuts. He's had 3 major reactions in the last 8 years, which ended up with these trigger anxiety. In his group, he does suffer with anxiety, and because he's living with this as the daily life of him, he wants to just want to tell the story because I've read a lot of other things. There's a lot of kids out there that have allergy problems. I'm a teacher, a school-out teacher, and he started school. He was the first child on their database that had anaphylactic reactions to food. Last week I counted over 22 kids in the same school that I teach who have anaphylactic reactions to certain foods they can't eat. We now have photographs of these 22 kids in our staff room because there's certain kids out there.
What age group do you teach?
I'm actually a special needs teacher and I teach in primary school. So the other thing I've noticed in the last 12 years I've been enrolled, I have a lot of children. I mean, an enormous school, and especially we have so many children coming through. ASD,
I think to teachers who say they struggle to cope in the classroom to teach their class because of the behavioural issues of so many. And we have unvaccinated students telling us they're checking out of public schools because they can't cope. Alright, well listen, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I've been waiting so long. I'm sorry it took so long. Well, Australia, you guys are really going to be absolutely fine. We've got a great team over here. Good things ahead. I'm really proud of Australia. And your baby is that's gorgeous. Makes me want another baby. No, I'm too old. Maybe Mrs. Higginbottom. Maybe. Alright, thank you so much. Do join us on social media. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Alright, now who was the next one? Jen.
Oh, okay.
That's scary. It's late here. It's the end of the tour. People are getting.
Guys, I'm sorry if one of these.
Vaxxed, they're going to go together. Like separate stories, but they're going to go together.
Okay.
Listen, we like to end on Australia. What does that say on there? Now that's
Nicely
cool.
done.
And you wear that around you. People think, oh, there's a pretty girl with her sash. Look at that. That's what our young people should be wearing. Okay, so go.
Maybe a tiara made out of needles.
Why do you wear vaccines kill? Have you a personal experience?
No, I haven't, but I'm very up in the community.
Yes.
I just know so many parents who
Are you with these people?
Yes, that's my husband.
Move on in. Come on in. Don't be shy. You're only live on 4 social media. So don't worry about that. Okay, are you with these people as well?
You should come in.
Come on in, you come in. I can't get you all in camera, but we'll go with that. Okay, so who are we going to go first? You guys or you?
Go with these.
We'll go with the couple. Okay, tell us, how many children do you both have?
We have 5 children.
5 children? You don't look old enough to have one. Alright, how old are they?
We've got 14-year-old, 10, 7, 4 and 3.
And how many vaccines have they all had?
Well, our first child was 14, had a few, but she had reactions every time. Not major, but just she got sick after every round of shots.
So were you anti-vaccine then, or were you just thinking, oh, I'll just do it?
I was just naive.
Yeah.
I didn't even think. It was just, I didn't even think there was a risk. It's just what you did, you know. I really didn't think at all, which is
You just
really
trusted
scary.
your doctor.
But going in every time, there was something in me, being a mum, I was like, this is just not right. So clinical and so smell. I don't know, it didn't seem natural to me. And we were sort of always who I was, a little bit hippie in the way of, I didn't really like antibiotics and I'd like to give the kids echinacea, things like that if they're sick. So it never made sense to me that she was so sick like the rest of the kids because we didn't do antibiotics. So I sort of thought, what's going on here? And then she got tonsillitis again. She always got tonsillitis, always got infections. Then she'd have the antibiotics, which then led to eruption in the mouth and, you know, all of the after things of antibiotics. So they actually ended up with scarlet fever because she got strep throat from tonsillitis. And we were in the hospital and the nurse said to us, is she immunised for measles? I said, yes, of course. Okay, that's what you do. So once the nurse said to us, she actually said, and this was like 10 years ago, and she said, oh, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't actually always stop the measles. It might just stop the severity. So I was saying to Jared, we're doing this to our child for a possibility that it's going to work. And then I just started researching. And that was about 11 years ago, and we have 4 beautiful non-vaccinated children.
How are they? How's the unvaccinated children?
Sorry?
How are the ones that have had no vaccine?
They have had a cold, and they've had a stomach bug. And that's it. They've never gone to a doctor.
Do any of them have autism?
No.
Do they have ADD, ADHD,
No,
asthma?
no learning difficulties, no asthma, no eczema.
What
no
about allergies?
at all.
Ear infection?
Never, not once.
Antibiotics?
Never.
Oh my
Never
God.
at all.
See?
Not once.
This is ridiculous, isn't it?
No
Same
hospital,
story, guys.
nothing.
We're just finishing our Australian tour and we have to report. It's the same as it is around the world.
It's
This is
everywhere.
the biggest
It's everywhere.
lie ever told.
It is.
And it murders and it maims. I don't know how this is going to end for those bad people, but I'm glad I'm not one of them.
I know.
Cannot be a good ending.
Yeah, well, our little one keeps asking about going to the doctor because that's what she sees on TV and in cartoons.
Well, you're not the
She's
first
never
people
been.
to say that.
Yeah. Remember that one kid?
One dad actually had to take his daughter to the doctor to actually see what it was like. He said, "Don't. That is not a funny game to play with your kid.
No, it's not. It's not.
Find a chiropractor.
Yeah, that's it.
And say, here's a doctor.
That's
Off
it.
we go."
Yeah, we do. Yep. Absolutely.
But you don't
Yeah,
want to
so-
take those unvaccinated kids anywhere near those. Farmer salesmen is what they are.
Yeah. And like even just their recovery time between the partially vaccinated, you know, Keisha, she's our eldest, and even just a cold still, we've detoxed her, but it could still take up for a week for her to really heal, versus our non-vaccinated children, you know, 24 to 48 hours. And even just that, you know, it's just amazing.
It is. Well, that's a wonderful story. And I'm pretty sure Robin, our editor, is going to grab that and send that out far and wide. You guys will have a lovely life with your children healthy, but if you could help us out with our kids that are injured and help us build futures, we
I actually was the
appreciate
one
that.
who organised the last rally in Adelaide. And yeah, it's the least I can do. Like we've got to
I
do
mean,
this,
educating your kids on the fact that, you know, they're not scary, they're just, you know, they look, Billy's 6'4", going on 6'5", and he can look scary, but he's actually harmless.
Yeah, no, he's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There's Billy's therapist. That was when Billy was 2 years old. She was the first person to help. She came into our lives, and she lives here. Yes, it is. She taught Billy to sit in a chair, which is a massive deal. Nobody else could.
And you're wonderful. And
Oh,
I just,
thank you.
I mean, I've been following you forever, and I just love you. But
Well, it's because I have my Anu.
I know, and he's beautiful.
Yeah, he's a good man. He's a good man.
Just to see you in action, you are just amazing with everybody. You don't. The whole world could end, and you would still be looking at those parents in the eyes. listening to
Onwards.
them, you know.
We're one big family. That's why.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm loving it. You've got Britain and Britain are awake. America's waking up, and they're sending you hearts and love. See?
Oh, I love you guys.
Yeah. It doesn't matter that we've got ocean between us.
No.
Family. All right. Thank you guys. All right. Let's have a chat with you. Are you going to join your friend? Have you got anything to say? No. Okay. All right. All of them are unvaccinated. How old are they?
Almost 13, almost 12, almost 9 and 5. My mother was a midwife. How lucky did I get? I was so blessed. She took me off.
Your mum's a midwife and she tipped you off. Wow, that's interesting. She obviously knew. So nothing. How are they developed? Do they have any autism, asthma, allergies, ADD, ADHD, Asperger's, peanut allergy? It's crazy. How do you feel about your media over here that say that people like Dr. Suzanne is, you know, evil, child
I'm so
killer?
ashamed to be an Australian, and when I heard you say that, I just felt so ashamed, disgusted.
There's big money, there's vaccines are big money. And then when they injure our kids, it's big money. Putting them on psychotropic drugs to dumb them out, it's big money. So shame on these guys. But that's not Australia. Australia's full of good, strong people. And there's a few people in power on the dark side. Remember that. Your country's a great country. We love it. It's a little bit cold for me and Anu.
Yeah.
We cannot wait to get back to Austin, Texas.
But we do love your coffee.
But we love you. You win the best coffee in the world. How weird is that?
Yeah.
Australian coffee
Is fantastic.
is the dogs.
Yeah, is the yeah.
We loved it. It's all going to turn out fine in the end because we're not going to be bullied by these people. I think we're about. Our social media is about to come. We've been going out for
pushing it.
nearly 3 hours. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great way to finish up.
Sleep well, England, Ireland, Scotland well.